Hopefully everything will be audio-wise will work. Find out. Been having some real issues over the last couple of days to the point where it's made me physically ill. So stressed about it. But we should get it. We should be right. Should be live. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's got the intro thing running.
I'll be able to bring it up on this computer. Echo for the win. I can see the tension. And everybody's there. Including Bash and Aslan. Hi chat. I forgot to mute shit, so hopefully that didn't didn't echo too much for you guys. And if it did, I'm sorry, but that is just how things are. Right, so Sunday again, guys. Another D&D game. We had a D&D game last night with Mr. Baz's campaign, and that went very well. No one died. Very, very cool. It was weird because we're playing his game over Discord at the moment as well because lockdown. So looking forward to actually getting back around a physical table, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Hello everybody in the chat as well. Welcome to another episode of Paradigm Bold. So Savage, what's up, man? Hello chat bags. Charming.
Like rat bags, only maybe it didn't come out that way in the type.
No.
Okay. What you missed. That will be up to you. You can describe that when it happens. So yeah. So how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing okay during their respective lockdowns. We will find out tomorrow whether we get reduced back down to level 3, which will mean some businesses will be able to open. Potentially schools might be heading back as well. Obviously, unfortunately, Nutty won't be going back to work until level 2, but at least it's a step in the right direction. We could be back in level 2 or even level 1 within 3 weeks, which would be awesome. Luckily for us here in New Zealand, we're seeing a decline every day in new cases. Over the last 4 or 5 days, we're dropping amounts of new cases coming out. We've had the least amount of deaths worldwide and the least amount of cases worldwide per capita. Like countries that are similar size to us have had deaths in the thousands, where we've had less than 10, I believe, so far still.
I'm not trying hard enough there.
So with that, I think our government, as much as people give the government shit, I think our government's done a brilliant job to stop the spread of this disease in our countries. You got to commend them. As much as government politicians are dicks, they've done a good job. 11? Okay. 11 deaths. I mean, but the thing is, and again, predominantly those deaths were at a old folks home. So mostly like elderly people well into the 80s and 90s as well. I mean, not that it's better, but Mr. Ravine with a lurk. I saw a news story today that said when the outbreak happened in China, Italy had a hug a Chinese person day. You're kidding me? Wow.
Yep, I did.
Wow, people, just wow. The mentality of some people. Anywho, so unless we've got anything else to say, I certainly don't, we will get into our recap for this evening's episode. You bought a new CPU for your computer? Nice, dude. Right, so without further ado, we will recap last episode. So after a night's rest, you all came down for breakfast at the recently cleaned up guild hall. You met your new guild servant / housecarl, whatever you want to call him, Seth the half-orc, and decided that it was probably a good idea with your appointment of your new position to search your new office. You found some information about some missing miners in the Begilia Mountains region. You also found a note about a mercenary group that may have some information. You found also a copy of Alessandra's wanted poster, which she predominantly pocketed. Not much else was there, but you had a good search around. You then decided that it was probably a good idea to head over to the Squirrel and Hydra to meet up with this potential mercenary group and find out what they may or may not know. Once you arrived at the Squirrel and Hydra, you were met and greeted by Eraf, your basically I would say long-time friend, someone you've known quite well. You guys stayed there quite a fair bit in the beginning of your adventure. And glancing around the room, Het and Alessandros, you both immediately recognized a half-elven fighter sitting with at a table with some other armored individuals, and Azalan, your old compatriot, was sitting there with his friends. One large half-orc named Bash was also with him. A little bit of argy-bargy, a little friendly back and forth, a friendly punch in the nose from Bash to Het. Bit of mutual respect there as well. After a bit of a chat and some food and drink, Aslan offers Bash to aid you in your journey north to help the township of Helonde, and also maybe possibly confront Cass as well. He also offers his own assistance if he is able to make it in the Cass exchange, when and if you decide to move forward with that. You then return to your guild for much needed rest. Sadiq and Het, both after another night's rest, fully recover from their injuries and their brush with death. Het inquires about some enchanting for his compass and purchases a fine cloak to aid in his ability to protect himself. The next day you prepare to travel to Boford. Once there, you split up, and some of you head off to speak to the Captain Morgan, who turns out to be Beth Morgan's father. He gives you some info about Helonde and the so-called Tomb of Horrors, while the others, which I believe was the girls and the boys, split up. So the girls headed off to the War Merchant to speak with Beth's mother and purchase some weapons and bits and pieces. You then head back for the guild house or the inn, whichever you've decided. I'm not entirely sure which you had decided at that point, but this is where we rejoin the lines of Valonde in episode 34 of Paradigm Bold. So essentially you have all just left your respective buildings. So the boys, you've just left the barracks and are getting ready to head wherever you decided to meet up. I'm not even sure if you decided to meet anywhere or not.
I think we were meeting up at the blacksmith, wasn't it?
Okay, so you're going to head towards the blacksmith. So here's your map reference. So you were heading back to the War Merchant. You were going to sort of meet at the War Merchant or thereabouts, Southern Market. So you both sort of, the girls sort of mill around, and the girls wanted to go to a general store as well and buy some pretty things. You didn't transmit, buddy. Still not transmitting. Yep. We are not hearing you at all. I'm not hearing anybody.
He went mute.
Oh, there you are. There's a Yanti.
No, he's not transmitting at all.
Nuddy,
No,
check
cannot
your
hear
microphone
anyone.
settings on Discord.
Right, the button's being pushed, but nothing being said.
Yeah, she's Windows, man. Windows 10. Worst Windows ever. I might have to pop over and help her because she has no clue what she's doing half the time.
Anything now?
There we go.
There you are.
Yep.
Unplugged and plugged back in.
Yeah,
I
that
heard
sometimes
something,
works.
I don't know what, guys.
So yeah, so the girls headed off to a general store to buy some pretty things, ribbons and paint and such. So it's going to take the guys about probably about, I don't know, 40 minutes maybe to get from the barracks to where the girls are. You then rejoin each other, and what are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen?
Sorry, DM.
Yes.
During that walk, it would like to just had a quick conversation with Sadiq.
Go for it.
Hey, Sadiq. Just a note on something we were talking with Captain Morgan about.
Yes.
He mentioned a few things, and you came back with, "We have elves" as an answer. I don't know if you remember the conversation so well, but I don't know if we have elves as such. It's like they're not swords on our back. I feel like you were almost saying we use them. That's a little rough, is it not?
Oh, I meant that we have elves in our party.
Oh, right. The way you said it was almost like they were pets. I was just curious. That was all.
No, not pets, companions. Well, for you, soulmate. But yeah, compatriots. What's another word there?
Do orcs have pets?
Well, I never did, but I know of some orcs that had pets like bears and tigers and, kind of like
Lions? Oh my!
No, not lions. Lions are better for as rugs, but
Okay, cool. I was just making sure you didn't think of the elves as pets. That is fine.
no, that would be slavery. Yeah, I don't believe in slavery. I don't see slavery as being something that you should do. That's why probably a reason I don't like vampires, because technically they're enslaving dead people to be their servants, and they're dead. Is it really slavery if they're dead as well?
I don't know. What is... I mean, slavery as a whole, what is... I mean, that's the owning of another person, right?
That's another being, yes. It's just like what dragons did to the dragonborn before they were, escaped. I think the word is.
You are correct. Is that what Fiala is trying to do to me? Enslave me?
No, I don't think she's trying to enslave you. I think
Slavery.
she's trying to befriend.
I think so, chat. I think so.
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Okay. Just wondered why you would have told her to choke me like that. That was all. I thought maybe there was more to
Hey,
it.
I'm sorry, but she asked me how, orcs show, in our clan, how we show, that, start a relationship, and I informed her I had no idea that she was actually trying to work out how to approach the whole situation with you. Like, if she had actually said that, I would have said, you know, something like, I don't know, give him a gift and write a note in the gift saying, I really, really like you. Will you be my boyfriend? With a yes and no square, and, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how you guys do this.
Okay, it was funny nonetheless. That was actually pretty good. Just letting you know, no hard feelings.
Well, no, it was no means of malice into it. It's just that's how we do it. You know, we don't have time to think your race calls it court. We don't do the courting stuff. It's just get to it, move on, because tomorrow you could be dead.
That is excellent. Good advice. I mean, my race don't live very long, so get to it, get on with it. Tomorrow I could be dead. I like that. And with that, Het is happy. He smiles as he walks.
Righty-ho then.
Which
All
I
right.
must admit would probably be a quite disturbing look, seeing walking down the street smiling.
Yes, it would be a little. It is kind of creepy. Like, Het, when he smiles, it's kind of toothy and I mean, he's not a smiley type of dude anyway, but it kind of picture, I don't know, let's say Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator trying to smile, just with razor sharp teeth. So
Arnold trying to smile with crocodile teeth.
yeah, pretty much. Just put that picture in your head, guys. That would keep you going for a little while. And with that, you guys do and eventually meet up together. So you're all back together now. You are in the streets of Boford. It is a relatively overcast day. It's not raining. It's not sunny. It's not cold either. It's we would be in as far as seasons are concerned in Paradigm, we're probably in probably late spring heading into the summer. So it's not cold, but it's definitely not a hot day either, but it's a little overcast. So what are we going to do, guys?
If the girls were going to the general store, Het also needs to go to some sort of general store.
I think they did that before meeting up with you guys. They went in and popped in and just bought some bits and pieces, girly stuff. But if you want to visit the general store as well, the Quiet Nutty sorted out. Yeah, if you wanted to go to the general store and purchase particular items, you can do that. We don't need to, or I don't need to roleplay that. What in particular are we after?
Sweet. Het just needs 10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Okay, cool. Easy enough. Just mark the gold off.
Done. Thank you.
No problem. Nutty, have you sorted your microphone?
I think so.
There we go. Make sure you talk into it, please, and speak clearly. Just so our viewers at home can hear your beautiful voice.
Oh, good lord. Are you sure you want them to?
No, not really. But,
well, we kind of need you to, so we know what you bloody well say.
well, that too.
Shh.
just don't blow into it or try and eat it or like anything like that. We are going to get Nutty a new microphone, guys. I have made that decision. I need a new mic as well, so we're going to sort that out over the course of the next few months.
So she's getting your hand-me-downs?
Yes.
I'm also going to be getting a new headset, so...
Yeah. Which will have a better microphone anyway, but I'm going to get her a dedicated mic. It's so much simpler.
Yeah, I just purchased one like Yanti, so...
Right, so from there we've done our general shopping. What are the plans? You guys arrived via teleportation in mid-morning. So by now it's probably about lunchtime-ish, just after lunch. You got some choices. There's a couple of inns you can go to. If you want to go to an inn, you don't have to. You can go straight to a guild house, or you've been told that it's going to take about a day to procure wagon and horses to draw it from the barracks. So you won't be able to get that until the next day. What are we doing,
I guess
team?
we're just gonna mosey around the town for the day.
Looking at anything in particular?
All different wares.
So,
that's pretty much what I'll be doing.
Alessandris will tell you. She has lived here for a time, so she, again, just to remind you guys of what we probably went over a little bit last session. Some notable places. There is a inn called the Scoundrels Pub, which is just a common inn. They have reasonable food and lodgings, but it's very, very basic. The innkeeper is an old female halfling named Joyce. Alessandris has visited this establishment on a few occasions with her time here. Joyce is in her sort of 60s. She was once an adventurer. No, she did not take an arrow to the knee. But she was maimed in the Dread Warrens of Grim March by a lich. So she has taken to keeping, and she's got some pretty horrific scarring. Nice enough old lady, but a little ornery at times. She's
Don't
a little
stare.
short. Pretty much.
One thing I will be doing is trying to research beholders to find out.
Okay, so you want to
Well,
head to the
potential
Arc, and you
weakness.
want to head to the Arcanus, then do some.
I might head off to
Yeah.
the guild hall.
Okay.
I
So
got some tuning to do.
tuning to do, Doki. If you had your, I'm sure you have too. So you need to basically just to spend the night. Spend the night and you'll be fine. But you want to just go head to the guild hall and rest up.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to head to the guild hall or go to the Arcanus with Sadiq? What's everyone doing? Nobody? Dead silence.
Crickets.
No one wants to do anything. Come on, guys. It's a role-playing game.
Yeah, no.
I've
Just
already said
making
where
it out, yeah.
I've said where I'm going, so
I will go to the guild hall with Ali.
Okay. Anari, I'm assuming you're going to go with
I
the
will
girls.
go with the girls.
Het, where are you going?
Het is unsure. Het will just head back to the guild hall.
Okay. So, Sadiq, you're going to the Arcanus by yourself, so we'll just leave you for a moment and we will travel with the rest of the group heading to the guild hall. The guild hall is located in Coin Village, which, Alessandro, you know where that is. I will bring up a map again for you guys. So Coin Village is on the interior of the small town, which is sort of right next to the dock wards. You can see the ocean from the Coin Ward. From where you are, it will take just over an hour to get there, but you are able to do so relatively easily with the aid of Alessandris. You then find the guild hall. It's a grand timber and brick building. Was once an old inn, which has been converted to now house the Black Lion. It contains a large meeting hall, several smaller rooms, and it's a shared guild hall. So there's you've got the you'll have bards coming in and out of here. You'll have other guilds sort of using the same building, but generally speaking, it's the Black Line. Your primary contact there is not a headmaster, but the lead or senior guild member of this particular guild is a human by the name of Alice, and he greets you as you come to the guild hall. You push your way through the main doors, and there's a few people in there, just again random people, not some people that are not part of the guild that look more bardic and where they got lutes and panpipes and things. One of them sort of sitting in a corner playing just a quiet tune. Alice is quite tall. He's about 6'4", short cropped, jet black hair, clean shaven, very piercing, bright blue eyes. He wears banded mail armor and wields a falchion and a shield. So his shield is sort of on his back, so he's in full armor. It looks like he's possibly getting ready to sort of head out, and he'll do some contract work or something. But he greets you as you come in. Greetings, fellow guild members. My name is Alice. I am the senior guild member here. Anything you need, just don't hesitate to ask, but don't ask it now because I'm heading out the door. The guild is at your disposal. He then sort of looks at you a little bit and then looks at you again and goes, are you not the Lions of Valonde by any chance? Your half-orc companion seems to be missing, but I'm sure it's you guys, is it not?
Why, yes, we are.
Oh, great. Well, condolences on Riffin's passing and poor Jeremy. I've stopped into the Valonde Guild a few times myself, and it's just such a shame that such things have happened, but in these times we expect it's kind of like war, I guess. But condolences to you and your companions. The guild house is yours. Obviously, you're currently headmasters of the largest guild house in the lands. So my office is your office. If you need anything, as I say, don't hesitate. But I will be out for a few hours. I'm going to go eradicate a few kobolds that have set up camp near here and have been raiding some of the traders coming to and from Boford. Shouldn't be too long, maybe a day or two, but I might see you again, and he bids you all farewell as he leaves the guild house. So the guild house is yours. You have pretty much run of it. Like I say, there's a few other people scattered about. There are probably about a dozen or so rooms on a second and a third floor. So you are able to take your pick of room. Doesn't seem to be many people here at the moment. So if you're wanting to rest or attune with things, you can do it in a room by yourself, or you can sit with it at a table in the main hall.
I'll sit at a table, take it out, and admire it.
No worries. You're sitting there admiring your new weapon. The rest of you, what are you guys doing? Inari, Yanti, and Het.
Het will sit alongside Elishandris and say, "What a nice weapon you are holding now. That is a glorious wonder. Piece of art, I say."
Why, thank you.
I'm going to sit next to Ali on the other side and admire as well, but quietly.
The quiet admiration going on there. Inari, you doing anything in particular, or you just joining them?
Sitting opposite them and looking at it and Fiala and looking at the wonder on their faces and wondering what.
You're cutting out your end, so hold your button a little longer.
Okay.
So, I mean, or go to, let's say you can go to straight voice, just turn that filter on. I help. But so we'll leave that part of the faction there, and we will then follow Sadiq. Alessandros gave you directions to the what would be a small library in the Arcanist ward of Boford. It takes you a little bit. You had to sort of stop and ask a couple of people if you were heading in the right direction. And indeed, you do find the small library / Arcanarium / Arcanist. It's not really the part of the Arcanist Guild, but it's where you would do any kind of research. You walk in the main doors, and you are greeted by a female human. She's a long, thin face with messy, sort of silvery white hair and amber eyes. She wears modest garments with several pouches hanging from her belt. And she's clasped her hands in front of you and sort of walks forward and says, "Good morrow. How may I assist you this day?"
Oh, hello. I'm looking for information on beholders or any such,
Well, beholders, you say?
Yes.
We do have a few tomes that pertain to such fiends. I don't know if anything about beholders specifically, but you're more than welcome to study these tomes if you wish. And forgive me. My name is Eris. Eris Wright. This is my establishment, and the mages visit here from time to time. We're a small but quaint library, but we do have some pretty interesting books and such. Let me just see if I can find the couple of tomes that might be able to assist you in your research. And she sort of gestures you to a small table, almost like a sort of sitting area. There's a small table and a sort of a rounded half moon leather couch type thing, which you were able to sit at, and sort of disappears into one of the back rooms. And for those who want to spell it, Eris is Erys, and Gright Grighte. So she, after about 10 or 15 minutes, she comes back, and she comes back with three large tomes, fairly old looking tomes, and she places them down on the table in front. She says, I believe you should find these more than adequate for your research. They deal with fiends and abyssal beings and evil entities. There's the bottom book there in particular, because you mentioned beholders, is a little bit of a history on the Tomb of Horrors, which rumors have it there's potentially a beholder there. No one's ever seen it, of course, or those that have ventured into the Tomb of Horrors, and many have not returned, and those that have not returned with their minds intact. Such is the place. I mean, this is why we call it the Tomb of Horrors. But information should be more than sufficient. If there's anything else you need, please don't hesitate. And she wanders back off and starts just tidying up and sort of wandering around.
No, I'm going to start reading, probably from the bottom one, to read about the tomb, because I know that there is one.
Okay, so you can I get you to make an intelligence roll for me with advantage, because you have the book available.
That'll be a 17.
17. Okay, just give me 1 second. I gotta find a bit of information here. Right. So you start reading through this book, and oh, I forgot about Bash. Bash was with you guys. Bash is with you guys at the guild, by the way. Almost forgot about Mr. Bash.
He's admiring as well.
Yeah, Bash is having a sit down. He's actually admiring his new axe and still sort of wondering at how light this thing is and compared to his old one. So Sadiq, it takes you after about an hour or two that like you really go through this book. It's very. That should not be alerting. I don't have any alerts up, so why is that alerting? Anywho, thank you for the host. We find some information about the Tomb of Horrors specifically. So the Tomb of Horrors is located in the north region, north of Helonde, probably about a day's ride, or half a day's ride, give or take, from Helonde. It is a cavernous dungeon filled with traps and illusions and all sorts of interesting things. It's rather extensive. It's rumored to be tombed to a demi-lich, but also to the pages make several references to a large single-eyed beast with tentacles with eyes atop. Also, nothing too specific in regards to abilities or weaknesses, but there is mention about a anti-magic field that seems to be in effect from time to time during an encounter with one of these beings. The little bit more that you sort of read in there about the eye tentacles, or the tentacles with eyes atop, is that one of the sort of, there's a passage in there which looks like it's a passage from an actual adventurer, and it pretty much says that we encountered a strange one-eyed beast, and it had squid-like tentacles for hair, and atop those tentacles were more eyes. It floated and hovered about 15 to 20 feet from the ground. One of my companions was struck by a beam of energy from one of these eyes and was henceforth no more. And that's where that sort of recount sort of ends. So that's pretty much all you get, the information you get at this point. There is mention about a couple of false entrances to the tomb, which are trapped, but Bash has already told you that he can lead you to the entrance, as he has been here himself. But that's pretty much all you get from that book about beholders and specifically and the tomb.
Awesome. So now I know a little bit about the enemy.
Certainly do.
So once I finish the books, I go join the others.
No problem. So you, I say it took you probably all up travel time and research time. It took you sort of almost 3 to 4 hours to research this information. By the time you make it back to the guild house, we're looking early evening, around dinner time. A meal has been prepared and served in the main hall. A couple of servants are sort of floating around, dealing with everybody and making sure everyone's taken care of. You sort of enter the guild hall as the meal is being served up. You rejoin your companions. They're all seated around a table, food and ale out for everybody. Het, I dare say you would have requested some raw meats, and your request has been met.
And Het is regaling the team as Sadiq walks in with the tail end of a joke. He says, "So I said, kiss my asthma."
You have an asthma?
That was the tail end of a joke. Sadiq didn't hear the start, obviously. That's a...
Ah!
Yeah, that was just the end of it. But yes, it was a good joke. You guys found it like extremely funny, and you're all laughing heartily and Sadiq, you just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
AC has been fixed. Hit. Thank you for that. Hit, make a wisdom save for me, please.
Those are my favorite.
They're always your favorite. It's everybody's favorite.
Oh, it's good. 19.
19. You, all of a sudden, you get this urge. And chat, keep your minds out of the gutter. This urge sort of comes over you to. You need to go to the edge of the small town. You need to go to the small forested area to the south of Boford, and it's quite a powerful draw. Like you really get a feeling you really need to go there as soon as possible.
Excuse me, team. I'll just be a moment. Yeah. I just need to get some air and heads towards the door. And out to where he's been drawn to.
Out the door you go. Does anyone say anything or do anything as Het gets up and heads to the door?
I ask him if he wants someone to go with him.
No, it's okay. I'm not going to the toilet or anything.
Okay.
So Het, you leave at the guild hall, and this feeling washes over you again as you start walking, and it's a similar feeling you had, a very similar feeling indeed, when you first met the Rattlehead. Is that same powerful energy that's sort of flowing through, even to the point that the symbol of the Rattlehead seems to pulse faintly, a slight sort of orangey reddy glow. You, without even looking up really, you find your way to the southern end of the town. You find the southern entrance to the city. There's a couple of guards there that they sort of pay you no mind. Get out into the forest. Once you sort of reach the forest line, stand and sort of look around, looking for any kind of sign or waiting for that feeling to wash over you again. And as you sort of look around, you notice that same old round brown leather tent that you first encountered when you first met the Rattlehead. Just looked in that direction a second ago and there was nothing there, and as you turn back it's just there, distance.
It goes to the tent.
So you walk forward. It seems like, I mean, it's probably 20 or 30 feet from you, but each step you take, it seems to not get you any closer. It seems like you're walking forever, but in an instant, you're inside the tent. You don't remember setting foot inside the tent. It's a weird feeling. Like, you know how sometimes you have those dreams where you're just continuously walking and not getting any closer, but then just there. And inside the tent it's same thing. It's dark. It's almost foggy to a certain degree. There's lit candles around the back of the tent. That same old wooden table, the candle lit in the center, single chair pulled out as if beckoning sit.
Het looks around at the candles, and he sits into the chair and awaits.
The moment your butt hits that chair and you look up, seated before you, hunched and cloaked, hear that familiar rattle of the chains. And you can't see his face. The hood is, and the lighting has completely shrouded his face, but you know this to be your newfound companion and friend, Rattlehead. At this point, he has said nothing.
Het leans just slightly forward to try and get a better look, but cannot see through the shadows and says, "What is it you would ask of me?"
My friend, you have grown stronger with my boon. You have sent many to the underworld. I sense that you still long for more companionship. I'm here to offer another. And as you're looking at him as he speaks, and he sort of lowers his head just slightly, and as you look down, sort of trying to meet his own gaze, see a small rat skull on the table in front of you. Small pile of sulfur. And he then says to you, "Take these items. Utter my words. And you shall have another."
Het but nods his head and says, "I shall do as you ask. I appreciate what you're offering, and everything so far has been excellent. And also thank the Steel Lady that she has allowed you to give me these things." And Het picks up the items.
He just chuckles at the mention of the Steel Lady. It's almost like General Grievous, that kind of wheezy kind of laugh under the metal shroud. It's a little unnerving. You just the fact that he made that kind of laugh when at the mention of the Steel Lady's name. If you wish to make an insight check to see if you understand more about what it may mean, that is up to you.
Het will.
Roll an insight check.
Rolling pretty good. 25.
With that roll, that's a good roll. So with a roll of 25, the moment you hear that chuckle, I think you've had this feeling before. The talking to the last time you communed with the Steel Lady, and even just the initial meeting with Rattlehead seemed odd timing, and it was also odd. It was something the Steel Lady said the night that you met the Rattlehead just didn't sit well with you. The way she spoke was not normally the way she speaks. And with that roll, I would say that Het now is starting to almost piece it together. Not quite. I would say that you are now pretty certain, not 100%, but 99% sure that the night that you met the Rattlehead was not at the Will.
Het looks up sort of quizzically at the Rattlehead and says, "Good sir, I appreciate everything you have done, but I ask you, are you leading me on a dark and dangerous path?"
The path to vengeance, always a dark and dangerous path, young one. But as long as you know this is the path that you're on, you can sway from it at any moment.
Oh, that's a good answer. Het still wishes to follow the ways of the Steel Lady. However, the teachings of the Rattlehead seem to be dealing with me well. Am I able to deal with you both? Is that a problem?
Well, I have no quarrel with the Steel Lady. If she has an issue with my involvement, we shall see. And with that, in an instant, standing in a clearing in the forest, Kent is gone, Rattlehead is gone. In your hands, clutching a small piece of sulfur, and a small rodent skull. The night, by the stage, it's just gotten dark, and that sense of power still lingers within your chest. It's almost like butterflies, but just a lot more tense, and that same sort of energy you felt whenever he's sort of close or has been close, it's always there.
How long has he been out here, would you say?
You probably feel like you've been out here for several hours. It seems that way to you. Like the passage of time seemed weird while in the tent, especially. But realistically, the time frame, once you start sort of heading back to the township, you determine it's probably only been maybe about an hour since you left there.
Does Hit think that these items are for the ritual he has been studying?
Roll an intelligence check with advantage.
That is 18.
You get the impression that he's bestowed upon you these components, knowing that the ritual that you've been studying will not get you the results that you want. He's offering you a way to get better results. From what you gather just from his tone and everything else, the items that he's given you and the command phrase that he's offered to you will halve your ritual and give you the results that you're after, pretty much.
Excellent. Hit will perform the ritual right there where he is in the forest.
So just make a note on your sheet that your ritual of summoning will only take half as long instead of the full. I think it's usually an hour.
Correct, yes.
So 30 minutes.
I will make that note, thank you. So yes, Hit will do this ritual then and there. He will summon, you know what he will summon, and he will put that, after the half hour, he will put it into the pocket dimension.
Okay, you take the skull in your hand and you take the piece of sulfur in the other hand, and generally, even though he didn't really give you any verbal instruction, you know what you need to do. You take the piece of sulfur, you crush it in your right hand, and you sprinkle it over top of the skull and hold it out in front of you, and as you start over and over again saying the incantation, which you know what it is. I mean, whether you want to share that with the rest of the group or the viewers, that's up to you.
No, secret for now.
Secret for now. So you mutter your incantation in Draconic over and over again, concentrating on the skull. Towards the end of the ritual, about 25 minutes, 26 minutes into the ritual, the skull starts to glow in a sort of a faint white, almost a bluish hue, and then you hear a cracking sound as the skull starts to crystallize into almost like an icicle. It sort of starts to ice over in your hand. You don't feel any pain, you don't feel any heat, you don't feel any cold, and as the skull crystallizes over and then shatters, the shards sort of float off and dissipate almost into steam. It shatters and then just billows out in this sort of cloud of steam in front of you. That steam and vapor then slowly drifts to the ground, and then before you is your new companion.
And there we can cut back to the team. Yay!
Fade to black and back to the guild hall. What did you guys want to achieve in this time while Het is away? Het is gone for about an hour, just over an hour. So you have an hour in which if you want to do something, now is the time.
Is the band playing the lutes?
There
and the
is
singing?
a bard, a half elven bard, sitting by the fireplace in this guild hall, just playing panpipes, just quietly, not playing anything in particular, almost like the kind of practicing, but just making something up on the spot, and not playing for anyone in particular, just mainly for themselves. But it's loud enough that the whole guild hall can hear it.
I would have been drinking wine and then trying to talk Ali and Inari into dancing to the panpipes.
Go for it.
Ain't going to happen.
Come on, Ali.
Nah, not gonna happen.
You're fast on your feet, little rogue. Get in here.
Roll
No.
a persuasion check.
$18.
Roll a d20 for me, Alessandros. Just tell me what you get.
11.
Come on, Ali.
She's persuasive.
Yeah, I got that.
It takes her a little while. Like for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, she keeps just goading you, like keep sort of pressure, and eventually you break and succumb to the pressure, and you get up with Biela. Inari, are you dancing as well?
I don't know if I dance. I don't think I do.
Talk to Fiala about it. She's trying to get you up to dance.
Looks
I
like
can
fun.
teach you. I can teach you.
Ah, why not?
There we go.
So, with that, can I get all three of you to make a performance check for me? See how dexterous you are all on your feet. Fiala,
15.
if you've been drinking wine, yours will be at a disadvantage.
It was already low. 4.
What was yours, Inari?
13.
13. Alessandros, and your performance check, please.
21.
21. Alessandros puts both of you to absolute shame. She is graceful. She is
Hey, come
in
on.
time. She is.
Hey.
Well, no, you're still a she. As far as everyone's concerned, you're still a she, even though you're in male form. Alessandros moves with a grace that you guys have not seen. I mean, you know that she's dexterous and quick and light on her feet, but you've now see a rhythm to Alessandros that you've not seen before, and it's very graceful.
My jaw
Inari,
just drops open.
yeah, Inari, even with you, I mean, you're an elf. You've been around for a long time. You've learned a thing or two. You don't dance often, but you are not as graceful as Alessandros, but you definitely are able to dance reasonably well. Yayla, you do know how to dance, and you do know how to dance very, very well, but you've had a little bit of wine, and the wine has gone right to your head, and you trip over a chair leg. You sort of stumble to a point where Inari's had to catch you at one point and prop you back up. You're a little giggly. And yeah, you're a little bit uncoordinated at the moment. I think the wine's just taken over a little. And when you do actually trip, don't fall on anyone. But the bard that's playing the panpipes doesn't stop playing, but definitely notices, and you can see the smirk come across her face as you trip over the chair and almost fall into Alessandros. And while this is going on, Het, you return. While the dancing is in sort of coming to a bit of an end, you sort of walk in. I don't think many people notice you return, and you do see Alessandros dancing very well, and Ari somewhat coordinated, a bit less graceful, and then your friend Fiela stumbling and quite uncoordinated efforts.
Hit loves to dance, so Hit heads over and cuts in and tries to dance with his drunken friend.
Oh,
Roll a
no.
performance check for me, please. With advantage. Actually, add your proficiency to it because of your bardic skills.
Oh, it's pretty good anyway. With an 18, that becomes 29.
Yeah, Hit then returns and you all of you sort of, as he walks over to you where the sort of area you've sort of cleared for a dance floor there, and Hit sort of, before he sort of just steps in and starts dancing, he gives a little bow and then starts to his own performance, his own rhythmic dance to these panpipes. And Alessandros, even you're impressed. Like, Hit, for as big as he is and as heavy as he is, this dragonborn bard has a grace about him that is almost magical. Very intoxicating to watch. Like, it's to the point where Inari and Fiela, the moment he starts, you both stop and just watch. Alessandros, because you're kind of into it and you get doing quite well yourself, you sort of dance with him for a bit, and then you sort of stop and just let him do his thing. Bash is just sitting there watching it, sort of wide-eyed. He's not even saying anything. He's just like, Bash can't dance at all. It's
Hit
just
grasps
like,
Fiela's
whoa.
hands and pulls her into dance.
And with that roll, you lead her very well. Fiela, even in your sort of wine stupor, Hit is strong enough to hold you upright, and he leads you in a very, I wouldn't say romantic, but a very sort of formal dance with these panpipes playing in the background. Not fast, not slow, but sort of somewhere in between. Sort of picture almost like a tango, slow tango kind of.
Hey, where did you learn to dance like this?
Well, you see, my mother was into singing and dancing and performance. That is why I learned the lute in the first place. She's very good at that sort of thing. She is a great singer, a great dancer, and a great storyteller. And she would practice with me as growing up as a young dragonborn. She's very fluent in a lot of the performing arts.
You're just full of surprises, Hat.
That's not all I'm full of. Oh, hang on. Hit is just joking around with you. It's okay. Would you like another drink?
I don't know if I should probably have another drink because I can't see the floor right now.
Oh, are you okay? Should I sit you down? Do you need help to sit instead?
Maybe. We bought elven wine and it's really, really good.
Oh, cool. Hit helps Fiela over to her chair, and then he says, "Do you mind if I dance with one of the others as well?"
You don't have to ask my permission, Head.
Sweet as. Is Sadiq in the room?
Sadiq is in the room, sitting at the table with Bash. They're just sitting there, not really talking, but sharing an ale. I think they were getting ready to getting into a bit of an arm wrestle. I think Bash was eyeing him up.
Hit grabs Ali's hand and Inari's hand and leads them over to Sadiq and Bash and says, "Come on, guys. Let's get in the spirit if we're going to go out and get killed tomorrow."
Bash sort of looks up at you, raises an eyebrow and says, "I don't dance.
I try
I
persuasion.
got 4 right feet, and it's just not going to happen. I would hurt somebody."
I'm pretty much in the same boat as him, but I only got 2 right feet, not 4.
You guys go on ahead. I think it's time me and Sadiq had an arm wrestle. He's a little bit smaller than me, but I think he's got some hidden muscles under that armor. I got to test him out, see how good he really is.
Yeah, I'm up to it.
First, Hit telepathically says to Fiala, "This is for you," and then, with a minor word to the Steel Lady, he casts command on Sadiq.
Oh.
What's the save on that?
He has to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh, this will be interesting with Hit casting it.
Please.
19.
Ooh.
Shit.
That is a save.
Hit's command was dance.
Yeah, Sadiq, you get this twinge in the back of your mind, and you hear this word. You hear the word dance sort of pop into your head, and you sort of squint your eyes here for a second, and then just think, nah, and just shake it off. And you, does he know that you tried to command him with that?
I believe so. And I casted it second, so Bash needs to make the save too.
Oh, crap. Okay, let's bring up Bash's stats here. Ooh. Yeah, Bash fails. Bash rolled a natural 1 with a -1 of a 0.
So Hit's command was dance.
And Bash sort of
Damn it, I want to
looks quizzically at Sadiq and sort of says, I have to get back to you on that arm wrestle. I just all of a sudden got this urge to dance. I hope I don't kill anyone. And he gets up and gets up with you, Hit, and starts to move very awkwardly. You can roll a quick performance check for him, which will be a 10. So it's passable, but very awkward at the same time. He's a big guy. He's taller than you, Hit. He's wide. He's bigger through the shoulders. And he definitely was right. He's got 4 left feet. He is moving very awkwardly, very painfully looking. He bumps into a table and knocks the table over. He bumps into Alessandra's, almost knocking Alessandra's on a bum. Knocks into you, Hit. You're a bit bigger, so you're able to sort of take it. But he seems to be enjoying himself. He's had a bit of ale as well. Yeah, exactly, Fiala. The picture of the robot, but just really bad.
After a few moments, Hit releases him of the command, and yes, they know that they have been commanded.
And he just looks at you and shoots you a look, as like you do know the look. And within a split second of that look, I'll give you a chance to react. Dexterity saving throw. A giant green fist comes flying your way.
Only 11.
Oh, he rolled an 11 as well, so that it'll connect, but it's not going to be hard. So yeah, you get another friendly punch on the jaw. This time it doesn't send you to the floor, but it staggers you back like it's a half a step. And he gives you a wink and a grin and says, "Don't try that again."
Hit says, "Hey, I owed you one for the punch earlier. You're one up again, so it'll be another spell another time, my friend." And he says, "Ha! Yeah, I've brought you out, but just don't make it dance. That is not good. I could have killed someone." Hit nods and carries on dancing with Inari and Ali. And with that, Bash sits back down with you, Sadiq, and puts his arm up, elbow on the table, hand out, and says, "Right, let's do this."
All right.
So take a D6. We're going to do this with D6s. Basically, high-low. We're going to make 3 or 4 rolls, and basically highest roll wins, and we'll get the upper hand. So roll a D6 and let me know what you get on the first roll.
4.
4. Sadiq, you grip each other's arm in that arm wrestling grip, and you take the tension, and he says, "Right, 3, 2, 1, go!" And you take the strain, and instantly you get a little bit of the upper hand, and you start bringing your hand just over the top a little bit and pushing back with this sort of. You can see he's not straining, but he's definitely surprised at the quickness of how strong you are, considering the little bit of a size difference between you. And second roll.
5 that time.
Oh, you drop him down about halfway. He's starting. You can see a little bit of a bead of sweat come across his forehead as you put a bit of pressure on now. And your third roll.
Crap. 1.
With that, Bash fights back, and he brings you back to center, and then tips you just over center back towards you, and you can see that the veins in his bicep and in the top of his shoulder starting to bulge, and as he really sort of grits down. Fourth roll.
And that's a 6.
He matches you with a 6. You both are now locked in a deadlock, both straining, sweat starting to form on both your brows. By this time, 2 or 3 of the other people in the guild hall have sort of seen what's going on and have started to gather around to sort of watch the spectacle. A little bit of cheering is going on as well. Someone even tosses a coin on the table. "I bet on the big green dude." And no one says, "Oh, my money's on the Lions." Next roll.
4.
Bash pushes down a little bit further, and again the strength seems to be picking up instead of waning, and he pushes you now down to about halfway towards your loss. Another roll.
All right. That's a 6.
It's a 6. You fight back. Bash, almost like he was almost on his last legs. You come back to center and just off center again. One final roll.
Ooh, finishes on a 6.
And you push with everything you've got. You grit your teeth. You think about everything just a well of emotion, the vengeance, your willingness to die to kill Cass Agnon, this vampire that basically raised your whole clan to the ground somewhat, and you just bear down. You furrow your brow, you look intensely at Bash, who's really starting to sweat, and you push with everything you've got. You slam his hand to the table. The chair rises up with a few people that are around the table, and one guy says, "Ah, fuck," and throws his coin on the table and walks away in disgust as he's just lost his bet. And Bash, sort of grabbing his arm and wrist, sort of gives you a nod and says, "You're stronger than you look. We'll have to try that again sometime. But respect."
I think I might have torn something doing that.
I think you might have just about torn my arm off. I'm impressed. You're a little bit puny for most half orcs. I mean, my dad was full orc. I think I got his genes, but I'm assuming it was your mum that was an orc. Probably why you're more human, but I can see now why they blooded you into the clan, even as a half orc. You definitely earned it. And he sort of gets up and offers his forearm in a soldiers and clan brothers embrace.
Yeah, I reciprocate and then grab a mead and go, to the clan and start drinking.
Right you are.
I'm gonna.
To the orc clans. And he picks up not a handle, but he picks up the pitcher and just sculls the whole thing. Very messily too, like it's all over his face and down his neck and everything.
And the loser pays for the next round.
It's a guild house, mate. It's all free.
I didn't say it was going to be tonight.
Oh, shit. All right, then. Fair enough. And he sits back down and carries on drinking. Gela.
I'm just going to sit there, massaging my arm.
Yeah, he's doing the same. Yeah, he's sort of holding his elbow and sort of rubbing his wrist. No permanent damage on either part, but you definitely both felt you were fairly evenly matched. You get the impression that you may not be quite so lucky next time.
Yeah, I got the feeling.
Viela, you were wanting to say something.
I'm going to bring Bash over a huge, extra large mead and sit down next to him and try to strike up a conversation.
Go for it. He grabs the handle and sort of nods and says, "Thank you. That's very kind."
You know, I like you, Bash. You're pretty fun.
Oh, well, thanks. I like you too. You guys are pretty cool for more people, I guess. So you smell pretty, by the way. These other guys stink.
Really?
These other guys smell funny, but you smell pretty.
I smell pretty.
It's an orc thing. I smell stuff. I don't know why, but kind of smell like how to put it. I don't know. You know, like how the ground smells after it rains, like in the grass, like outside, like fresh rain kind of thing. Can't smell like that. Pretty. And then he burps loudly. Oh, excuse me. That's got to smell bad. I'm sorry. Oh. That's good. That's good meat, that. Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's that stuff you're drinking? It kind of smells like fruit.
Yeah, it's elven wine. I was just gonna talk to you and just warn you to be careful of the Dragonborn curse.
Dragonborn what?
You know, the Dragonborn... Oh, you don't know, like, religion with the Dragonborn?
Oh, I know about Dragonborns. The fierce warriors. Even Mr. Hit is a Ponzi guitar player. He's pretty powerful. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Yes, he's very powerful and he's very well protected. Like, if anyone hurts a scale on his head, this creature comes out at night and it hunts you down. And if you hurt a dragonborn too many times, it turns into this worm and goes in through the navel and explodes you from the outside. So,
Wait, what? It burrows in through your buttonhole and...
Yep.
Roll a deception check for me. With disadvantage because you're drunk.
Oh, come on. I got a 19 and a 16.
So you just the 16. One second here. Bash has to make. Ooh. He sort of looks at you, raises one eyebrow at you, and says, "I'll be real careful not to hurt Mr. Hit too much. It was only a light punch on the nose. It was all in fun."
As long as it's good-hearted, I don't think the gods would be worried about you, really.
The gods like me. I'm a pretty funny fellow. I don't hurt too many people unless they hurt me, of course, and then I'll cut their fucking head off. Oh, excuse my language. Talking to a lady. And then he burps loudly again, and you can see he's embarrassed. Like the mead, he drank a whole pitcher of mead, so it's really fizzing up in his stomach. He burps so loudly that the whole room echoes with this giant burp. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And he sort of holds his breath for a moment, tries to stop himself from burping again.
I'm just going to pat him on the shoulder and be like, "It's okay." And I'm going to walk away.
Anything else anyone would like to achieve? By this time, I'd say with the arm wrestling match, the dancing, the drinking, the conversation, we are now probably heading off into late evening, 10:30, 11 o'clock, heading on towards midnight. You guys are going to need to get at least a 8-hour rest to complete a long rest, and you have a few things to achieve in the morning before heading out. on the road to Helonde.
Going to bed.
Alessandris is retiring to a. You guys, let's say, you guys pretty much have your pick of rooms. You can double up, single. There's enough rooms for you all to have a room each.
Hit us, Fiela, if she needs a hand to the room.
And I would say by this time, Fiela, roll a Constitution save for me, please.
Note, Hit has had no drinks at all.
No, I figured as much. 12.
But but I'm gonna say I think that I wanted to talk to Anari before bed.
Okay, so with a 12, you sort of look at Hit, and you know how when you get to that point when you're drinking, your eyes are open but they're not open.
Oh no!
So
yes,
they're sort of half closed, and everything's a little blurry. You're not quite there yet, but you're getting there fast. The elven wine is definitely taking its toll. Your speech is a little slurred at this point, nothing too major. But yeah, so Het has made his offer.
You're like, thank you, Het, but I'm gonna just talk to Anari for a little bit, if you don't mind. You're so nice, though.
No worries. Just yell out and I shall help you to your room. I will just be over here chatting with some of the locals.
Thank you.
And with that, Alessandra has retired. She's taken off. Sadiq, what are you doing?
I'll just finish my mead and then call it a night as well.
Yeah, Bash is going to do the same. He sort of says to everyone, like stands up and goes, right, I think it's time to hit the sack. I think I had a bit too much to drink. And he doesn't stagger, but he walks slowly with axe in hand and heads upstairs to find a room. So, in the main guild hall now, we have Het talking to a couple of the others there, probably talking to one of the other bards, talking about bardy stuff. Inari and Fiela sitting by yourselves.
I look at Fiela and I'm like, do you need a hand?
Speak up.
No, do I look really bad? Does it look bad?
Can you see?
I can see all two of you. What are you talking about?
This is what I mean.
It's too close to your mouth. Fitting in the mic.
How
Oh.
are you feeling?
I'm good. That wine was fine. I only needed a glass.
Yes,
Oh, well.
Inari does not drink very much.
I think this is a very embarrassing night for me.
Why do you say that?
I just have a feeling in the morning I'm just gonna, nah.
Vomit?
What is it we bought today anyway?
Oh, we bought some ribbons and some fingernail painty stuff.
That reminds me, I have to tell you what I told Bash, and then I relay what I told Bash and say, I think the gods need to smile down on Bash.
Ooh, should we do it?
We should.
Let's go. So with that, I drag Fiela up the stairs.
Drag.
Well, you're kind of half stumbling, I'm guessing. And we go and get the ribbons and paints. Which room was Bash sleeping in?
You left a roll investigation checks. Find it. Don't know where he went.
I rolled a 16.
I rolled a 15.
Yeah, Fiala is she's looking around. Even if she looked in his room, she probably wouldn't even be able to see him. But Anara, you eventually do find the room where Bash is. You sort of listen at the door and you can't hear anything in the room. What do? You're going to knock on the door? You're going to sort of peek in?
Gonna peek in.
Roll a stealth check for me to see if
I can do that.
you do it quietly enough. So
27. Does that stealthy enough?
I think that's stealthy. As far as you know, it's stealthy enough. You sort of push the door open a little bit, and Bash isn't asleep. He's actually kneeling on the floor with his back to the door, with his, from what you can tell, the battle axe is blade down on the floor, and he's got his hands on the handle, and he's got his head bowed. It sounds like he's muttering something, but he's not asleep.
Praying? I whisper to Inari, let's do sad IQ. I mean, Sadiq.
Okay, let's go find him. Just how much of that wine did you have?
Probably only a glass. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
More like
was
2
it
or
in
3
your
glasses.
Well, maybe I should roll to see how many glasses I've
Actually,
had.
I'll roll a d6. You had 4 glasses, which is pretty much the entire bottle.
Wow. How are you still standing?
I'm a wood elf. We do these things, I'm guessing.
Okay. So we're gonna go.
So you're going to go
find
try and find Sadiq? Okay. Without investigation, I would say you go from room to room and sort of find out where he is. Again, with that stealth check, you, as far as you know, are fairly stealthy. You peek in Sadiq's room as well.
Yep.
Sadiq, roll a d6 for me.
6.
Sadiq is not asleep. He's lying on his bed, but he's not asleep yet. Sort of lying there, staring at the ceiling. He didn't notice the door open ajar, but he's not asleep.
Oh no, what do we do?
I think we go back to the room. I think we'll do.
Sadiq, roll a perception check, please. Since they're whispering outside your door.
Who, us or him?
Him.
Perception 7.
7. Yeah, you didn't really notice anything. You thought you heard something and thought, no, it was nothing. And you sort of you close your eyes and attempt to try and get some. Ladies, what are you up to now?
Het's still downstairs, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Het did not see them leave, I do not think.
Wonder where my music went. Got sent to AFK.
I guess we try this tomorrow.
Sounds like
What
a
do you
good
think?
idea. So I'll give Fiala a hand back to her room.
Okay. Het, are you still downstairs?
Yes, Het is still downstairs talking to the bards.
Right. So the girls have gone upstairs. You're downstairs with the bards, with the other bards and other sort of few guild members that are floating around. Anari and Fiala, Anari's helping you to your room. Anything else you want to discuss before? Right.
I just look at Fiala and tell her that I was actually sent to protect her.
Do I comprehend this?
Yeah. She's directly told you that that's what she's there for.
I had a feeling you were always following me around, but do you want to tell me why you were sent?
Just orders from the Enclave.
Is there a way we can find out why?
I don't know, to be honest.
Can you send messages to your boss, or how
I-
does that work?
I think so.
Yes,
I
you
send
can.
messages
You
to
can.
my boss.
You,
I can
you
send a
have
message to the Enclave.
you have a scroll which enables you to use the sending message once per day to the Enclave only.
I will find out.
Do you like your job so far?
It's been pretty fun. Definitely different to other things I've had to do in the past and people I've had to look after.
Well, at least you got a classy team with you this time, right?
Definitely.
And with that, you you help Fiala to her bed. I dare say Fiala just flops straight into bed, armor and all, and passes out. And Ari, you then return to a room of your own as well. Het, we now rejoin you back down in the main hall.
How long does it take Het to notice the girls have all disappeared and everyone has disappeared?
Probably not that long. Het's pretty perceptive. I mean, you're talking with another bard, the bard that was playing the panpipes, just about bard, like general bard stuff, regaling stories of the lions. And after about, I'd say about half an hour, 45 minutes, you'll notice that the rest of you are no longer anywhere to be seen.
Het has a look around to make sure Fiala's not lying on the bar side somewhere or outside in the gutter, since he didn't see her leave, and then he heads up to his own room.
Roger that. And with that, we will take a short break while the team has a sleep, and we'll also take a
disappointed.
We'll take a 5-minute break or 5-10 minute break. So we'll take 5, give everyone a chance to go for a wee and have a drink. Then we'll come back and we'll have a bit of a chat with the chat. So if there's any guys in the chat there, I just want to quickly recognize La Chestiroo with the host for 13 viewers before. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you so much for the host. Thank you for bringing your community over to hang out with us while we play D&D. If you have any D&D questions when we come back, that is the time to ask before we get back into the show. So bear with us, give us a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
Cool. Thanks for that, Yanti.
Uh-oh.
Why are we uh-ohing?
Oh, no.
What'd you break this time?
Nothing. I thought I broke something, but I didn't. I just gotta realize that my Stream Deck, that one, desktop. Now, streaming PC. Sweet. And I gotta set one up for the gaming PC. Right, we are back, ladies and gems. Any questions you have got, now's the time, before we get back into the show. Just to introduce everybody to the player. I know we don't have cameras or anything, and we used to have a Discord overlay which stopped working. I don't know why, but we've just stopped using it anyway. So obviously the extension, the D&D Beyond extension, you'll be able to see the character sheets if you hover over your video. Alessandrus, aka Darth Trashman. So those that are seeing Darth Trashman in the chat and hearing this voice,
Hello.
that is Alessandrus. We then have Fiela, who is Yanti in the chat, and Fiela is obviously this voice.
Hello?
Then we have Het Maiden, obviously, aka Baz, or Orbasm in the chat, and we all know Het's voice is pretty distinctive, but just in case you've missed it, it is this voice.
Oh, sex.
Then we have Anari, aka Nutty Tart, in the chat, who is generally the quietest voice in the show, but when she is loud enough for us to hear, it is this voice.
Hello.
I was thinking, shit, are you actually going to transmit, or are you going to say it so quietly we can't hear it?
I was going to be smart and say it so quietly you couldn't hear it.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for one of you to do nothing. Probably going to be Sadiq. But Sadiq, aka Mr. Pecker79, and in the chat when he speaks, you'll hear this voice.
Hello.
And of course, Evldoa, you Dungeon Master, and every other voice in the game, including Bash. So, if we have no
questions, is the 79 for inches big? No, it's like millimeters, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean, 79 inches, that'd be painful.
that's his sad IQ.
Actually,
Yeah.
it'd be probably close to that too.
79, yeah.
Nah, it's year of birth. Because Mr. Pecker was bloody taken, so I had to add something to it.
Yeah. And Nutty Tart, you're not actually wrong. Bash, for those that haven't picked up on it, is my iteration of Vinnie Jones.
Oh, yes.
And for those that don't know who Vinnie Jones is, shame on you, and go look it up. But if we have no questions, we will get back into the realms of paradigm, and we will rejoin the lines of Valonde and Bash at the Boford Guildhouse, where they wake in the morning, some a little worse for wear. No one gets any level of exhaustion or anything like that. Everyone gets a full night's rest. Fiela, however, I need you to roll another Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Do I add my con that says +9 to it?
Whatever your saving throw is, that'll be in the saving
Just
throw section.
My saving throws.
So it's +2. No, your saving throws are +2.
So 10, 11. So 11.
So 11. With an 11, you are a little hungover. You're not like sick, but if it was a sunny day, which you're lucky it's not that sunny. If it was a sunny day, the sun would definitely hurt your eyes and you'd definitely have a headache. You were visibly, you would look a little disheveled in the morning. But you are definitely a little hungover. But the rest of you,
Doing okay. Even Bash is doing okay. He wanders on down in the morning, axe slung over his shoulder, all ready to go. He's like I say, he doesn't wear a lot of armor. Just that sort of piece of chainmail, it's almost like a singlet almost on him, with his leather pants and his fluffy top skin boots. And he sort of greets you all and morning. I think we probably best get organised to head up to Helonde and help them people as quickly as possible, I think. Didn't you, Sneak, you were talking to a captain about a wagon. Probably we should head off and see if that's ready, yeah?
Well, they said it would be ready today, so, hopefully they've gotten it.
Oh, I think we'll definitely go check it out, for sure. So we're not going to roleplay the whole breakfast thing again. We've done that several times. So you guys have breakfast, you have an ale, you re-provision for the day. So if you want to add, stock up your rations and water skins, you can do so free of charge. If you are wanting to purchase anything specific, now's the time to let me know. We can do that on the way to the barracks to pick up your wagon and horses.
There's such a thing as potion.
There's such a thing as speak the fuck up.
Getting rid of hangover.
Well, you don't have one.
No, I don't. But I was looking at Fiala, going, "Oh, she don't look so pretty."
Saying she's ugly. Are you saying she's ugly? That's pretty harsh.
No, just looking a little bit under the weather.
That would make Hit angry.
It would. I think it would make a lot of people angry calling her ugly like that. That's mean.
I hear hair of the dog works.
I don't know if we have any dogs.
No, actually, she just drinks what she was drinking last night and it seems to work.
Oh, Hit likes the taste of dog. Dog is good.
And Fiala vomits, leans over and vomits next to the table.
Ed, do you skin the dog first, or do you just go skin and all?
No, you skin it first. I feel like we've had a conversation similar to this before.
Well,
I get a strong sense of deja vu happening right now.
I think last time it was cats, wasn't it?
Yes,
Or
or maybe
beavers.
beavers. I think it was beavers.
Anywho, back to the story. You all breakfast and provisioned, safe. Unless you're wanting to stop specifically to find something, any provisions you need, we'll head on to the barracks. Where Captain Morgan is, you find him in his office still. He's at his desk this time, and he greets you as you come in. Morning. Come on in. We good news. We've outfitted a wagon for you all, and I think it will serve your purposes superbly. Just give me one moment here. Follow me, and he leads you outside, and you all head out into a military style courtyard where you've got these soldiers training and like training dummies and these archers shooting at targets and things like that, all very regimented kind of deal. And towards the barrack gates you see this standing, well, not exactly this, something very similar to this, without the cover over the seat, but you see a couple of standard horses, nothing too huge. They're not armored like they are in the picture, but there's a couple of standard horses hitched to a large covered wagon. It is a wooden wagon with the solid wooden wheels, just like in the picture. Very sturdy, probably a lot heavier than a standard wagon. It does have cloth and stuff over windows. Like it's not fully covered. It is something you could possibly improve on in the future and add. I know you were talking about armor plating and things like that. You could potentially add to that in the future at a cost. but this is what has been supplied to you. Comfortably seats 5 plus the driver. You can get 6 in the back at a squeeze, but 5 people could effectively sit in the back and rest quite happily with 1 or 2 people sitting.
Excellent.
That is your wagon there. And Captain Morgan turns and says, "Right, I hope that will serve your purpose. It is pretty much that is about the only covered wagon we have. We no longer really use it. It's a bit heavy for our purposes. But you're welcome to it. That is yours."
Thank you. It's
No
true,
worries.
I needed it while we're in this area anyway, but we're still trying to work out a way of getting it, having one that we can take with us everywhere.
I mean, you can take it on a boat. It's big enough. Most boat ramps will allow you to transport it via boat. Done that in the past.
We're thinking of a quicker way, like the transport, the teleporting rings.
Oh, you'll have to talk to the fancy mages about that one. bit out of my depth.
Yeah,
I know bows and arrows and swords and things.
Arrows.
It's a pipe dream, and apparently our ranger needs arrows.
Oh, you need arrows. We
Yes.
have some arrows here. How many do you need?
20 should do me.
Oh, help yourself. And he points over towards where the guys are practicing archery, and literally there's like not a basket, but it's like a standard a post that's sitting in the ground, and it's got a steel basket around the post, and in that steel basket is just arrows, like rows and rows and rows of arrows.
Thank you.
So help yourself. I mean, we fletched them here, and we're made from the wood of the forest from around the city. Some of the best wood in Paradigm. Best arrows you can find. And you inspect them, and no, they are good arrows. They're very straight, well balanced, well fletched.
Marvellous, thank you very much. Can't believe I nearly forgot my arrows. That would have been disastrous.
So with that, you head to your newly acquired covered wagon. Who is going to drive the wagon?
I'll drive first.
Okay. So Bash sort of looks at it and looks it up and down, gives it a bit of a shake, and you go, that's pretty sturdy. I think that'll do nicely. And he sort of, I'll ride up front with you if you don't mind, Mr. Sadiq. I think this is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
So there's enough room comfortably for the both of you to sit on up the front. You take the reins. The rest of you embark on into the rear of the wagon. And like I say, it's probably, I'd say, with you sitting across from each other, you'd be probably a foot or two gap between your knees. So there's a reasonable amount of room in the back. I mean, the seating is not padded. It's just wooden seating. It's nothing flash. But it's comfortable enough. It's covered so that if it was to rain, you wouldn't stay dry, but it would certainly keep the bulk of the water off you. It's been lined. You can see that it's probably not 100% watertight, but it definitely serves its purpose. With that, you head out. Sadiq, could I get you to make an animal handling check for me? See how well you handle your 2 horses.
That would be a 15.
It's not bad. You've used a team of horses before. You've 2 and 4 horse teams. You're pretty familiar with how it all works. And you grab the reins. You give the reins a flick, and off you go. I mean, this wagon's fairly heavy, so it's not going to be a fast trip. You know that from Boford to Helonde is approximately sort of 50 to 60 miles through lightly forested areas. You know that this being a slightly heavier wagon is probably going to run you at a reasonable pace, maybe 18 to 24 miles per day. So it's going to take you a couple of days to get there. But it'll be a bit more comfortable than on horseback and a little bit more protected and stop and camp on the side of the road.
But just a question, what are the seating arrangements in the back?
That is up to you. You guys tell me what the seating arrangements in the back are.
I was going to sit with my legs over the back.
There's a bit of a door. Like it's when the back of the wagon you go, it steps up and there's a door. Like it's like almost like a not solid door, like almost like a cage door. You get the impression this may have been used to transport prisoners. It's been repurposed.
Doesn't help me any. I was going to sit and swing my legs.
So if you want to give me a seating order in the wagon, you can.
I'll sit next to...
To me! You want to sit next to me.
Nari.
Which means we'll probably be sitting opposite.
Well, yeah, but you can have... There's enough seating each side on a bench seat for three people each side, comfortably.
I think we should maybe hit Ali and myself sit on one and let poor old Fiala lie down on the other.
I figured Fiala could lie on Het's lap or something like that.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, she could lie on Het's lap. Maybe we should spread ourselves out on this side here, eh, Ali?
Yeah,
Give
sounds
them a
like
week.
a great idea.
Give her a week.
Why are you two offering ideas out all the time?
I feel like you guys are trying to hook us up or something.
Yeah, Inari, why don't you lay with your head on Ali's lap?
I look at Ali. Ah, okay then. I lie down and get myself comfortable.
Alessandros, do you allow this to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at Het like,
Well, if everyone wants to sit comfortably, I have something I'd like to show you all.
wait, what?
Okay. Didn't realise we were that comfortable.
Okay, prepare yourselves.
Turns eyes away.
Closed eyes.
Are any
Keeping
of you...
my eye out on the road. I'm travelling the road.
Where's Bash at?
Bash is in the front. Bash is sitting in the front. You guys can't see what's going on in the back because there is a partition from front to back. There's no window between the carriage and the seat at the back. You can sort of hear muffled. You can hear them talking. You can sort of make out what it's kind of muffled, but you can hear and make out what they're saying, but you can't see them.
Oh, sorry, Sadiq might miss out on this first showing.
What you showing them, Mr. Hit? Is it interesting? Because I'm kind of interested in seeing some interesting stuff. Do we need to stop or what? Are we all good?
No, you're right. I will show these guys, and then I will show you. Just checking. Is anyone scared of small creatures?
Well, it depends on how small. And what type of creature, I guess. I mean, them crawling hands are kind of scary little fuckers, aren't they? You seen one of them? Fucking creepy.
I mean, I guess that sort of size. I guess it would be the size of my hand, and Hit puts his claw up, and it's, I guess you could say the size of a small cat, maybe?
Well, cats are kind of pretty and cute, so show me later. I'll leave you guys to it.
So Hit reaches down in front of himself in what seems to be... It looks like maybe the front of his pants, but his hands disappear into nothingness. And from the nothing... Yes, Fiona.
Maybe you should wait before you whip whatever you're gonna whip out till we're all sitting together.
I have a question for you, and it's not... No... and he just pulls it out.
Come on, chat. Get your minds out of the gutter,
pocket
people.
Dimension, a cat-sized, black and white, very furry tarantula.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
It
That's
is
a big fucking tarantula.
a big tarantula. It is very calm, and it is sitting in his hand. And he looks over to Fiala and he says, "This is my new pet. This is what I went to collect when I left you guys yesterday evening. And I have a small dilemma.
Why?
Well, I wish to name it, and Larry, you may be able to help with this too, but Fiela, as you are teaching me Elven, the language, I would like to call this guy something to do with ice, I guess. Ice or frost, or... And I would like you to teach me in Elven. What is? Do you have any ideas?
Well, from the ice is Tulo Ikelek, if you like that.
Tulo E Kalek. I do like that. From the ice. I mean, that's a long name. How about would everyone... I should call him Kalek, maybe. Would that be approved?
That would be ice, yes.
And that is some terrible English from it. Would you approve of that, is what I meant to say.
Common's not his first language, mate.
Okay, little buddy, and he pats the tarantula on its nice fur, and he says, "You are Kalek. Hey, everybody, say hello to Kalek," and he allows Kalek to crawl onto whoever will allow it.
I'd put my hand out and let him crawl on me.
And when you say you put your hand out, what you got to realize is Kalek is not exactly the size of a tarantula.
I put my hand out and tickle him under the chin.
He is probably, if you're looking at from a scale size of things, unless Het has scaled him down, it'd be probably 5 or 6 times bigger than an actual tarantula.
Yes, he is about the size of a household cat.
Do any of us notice that this might not be an actual animal?
I
For
guess for all
those
intents and
magical
purposes, he is an animal.
yeah, for those magical practitioners, so Fiela, you would make a nature check for me.
It's I guess it's the same as polymorph DM. It's what it
Yeah.
states.
Yeah,
That
it's
would
very
be
what's
23.
it's a fey creature, essentially. And with that roll, you'd know that it's not a natural creature. The summon familiar spell is similar to polymorph, but it summons a creature from the fey, basically. Enables you to change its shape.
Yes, he is Fey.
So yeah, Fiala, yeah, with that roll, you look at him, and you if you allow him to crawl on you can generally tell that this is not from the material plane. Definitely a natural creature, but it's not from this plane of existence.
I say, oh, Het, he's beautiful.
Yes, I thought so too. He's actually I can use him for certain things. He can help us scout into areas. He can crawl into some narrow spaces that maybe the rest of us might not be able to get into. I can use his sight and his perception and hearing and things like that. It is a wonderful little pet, actually.
I just realized from the lake you asked if you wanted a pet. You got your pet.
Ah, yes. Yes, you are correct. That came true. Het gives telepathic command to Kellic to crawl up the side of the wagon and into the front seat cautiously, and he says out loud, "Sadiq and Bash, my pet is coming your way. Please do not squash him."
And sort of Bash is looking around, waiting for whatever it is, because you haven't told him what it is, to come around, and then out of the corner of his eye, this large tarantula sort of comes around the side of the wagon and across the top and down in between Sadiq and Bash. Bash sort of looks at it and goes, "Mr. Het, this thing smells funny. It's kind of furry like a cat, but it's kind of ugly too. But it's bigger than them hand things, that's okay. It smells funny though."
Ugly and smells funny, you say? Maybe I should have named him Bash.
Hey! That would have been a good name, though. I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to say, but...
And Sadiq, that is my pet Kalik you can see beside you there. Feel free to give him a pet.
It's okay. I'm good.
I'm good.
He's kind of creepy looking, but if he's your pet, it must be okay. Can you take him back now, please?
Hit calls him back the quick way, teleportation-wise, back onto Hit's shoulder now.
And yeah, Sadiq and Bash both just... The spider just goes and disappears. And Bash says, "Well, that's a neat trick. Where'd he go? I hope he didn't fall off and get squashed."
No, he's back with me.
Oh, that's all right then. Well, I hope he's going to be useful because he's kind of small. I don't know if he'll be useful in a fight or anything, but kind of cool though.
Very useful. We shall wait and see what his uses he can be.
So, ladies and gentlemen, can I get everyone... Actually, no. I will get Sadiq and Bash to roll a perception check for me, please.
Can I use my passive?
If your roll is shit, yeah.
Yeah, 9 then.
You get a 9, Bash gets a 17 naturally. What's Bash's perception? So he gets a 16, he's on a -1. But Bash sort of nudges you, Sadiq, and says, "Hey, see, have a look over there, and just stop a minute, would you? Just stop. I think I've seen something."
So I pull back on the reins and stop the carriage.
And
go, what is it, Bash?
And he sort of half-pipe sort of stands up and leans and looks back. I think I've seen a body in the trees. I'll be right back. And he dives off the side of the carriage, and sort of hear his big sort of feet sort of crunching across the path, the roadway, and he goes, "Oi! Oh, you might want to come and have a look at this. And all of you, it might be a good idea. I think there's something going on over here."
So I put the brakes on and then tie up the horses so they won't bolt.
Team, just as a note, we're going to go and check out this, would you say, Bash, a body?
Yeah, it looks like he's a body in the road, and just in the side of the road here. It's a bit whiffy. It might have been here for a while.
This could be a trap, team. On the bright side, Hit has a new pet that can go and investigate this without us getting anywhere near it.
You want to risk your pet already, Hit?
Well, the pet can be brought back to life by magical means. We cannot so much. Well, I guess we can, but not in the same way.
Well, if Bash is already there with the body, I think.
No, he's still on the road. Like he hasn't gone off the road. He's sort of at the road. You can sort of see it. It's he goes, oh no, I haven't gone anywhere near it. I can smell it. I say it's pretty whiffy. It's probably about 20 or 30 feet just in the bushes over there. I smell something else too. I'm not quite sure what it is, but kind of smells like wet dog a little bit. So just be careful. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, send in the pet, Hit.
Sweet. Hit sends Killick in to see. Killick goes cautiously, but Killick also has blind sight.
Okay. So, what is Killick's movement speed?
20 foot per round.
20 feet per round. So it takes him a little while. You see, are you using your vision on his, or are you just sending him in and having him come back and inform you what's going on?
So no, I'm using my vision. So yes, you guys would see Hit's eyes now glazed completely over white. He has no red pupils anymore.
Yep.
And he quickly holds on to the side of the carriage as he's trying to look through his pet's eyes.
Your head is now deaf and blind.
I look worriedly at Het.
But he will be talking. He'll talk to you and relay the information that he's saying. So, yeah, Collect sort of skitters forward. You sort of hear him. He's a bit like, because he's the size. You hear that skittering is a little bit louder than your normal spider on hard surface. And then you sort of hear him rustle through the bushes and through the grass. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, you then through Collect's vision, you do see a body. Looks to be the body of a human. It is it's definitely been there a little while. It's not fresh, but it's not like old by any means. The whole left side of its body has been torn open. You can see ribs protruding, remnants of the entrails out on the side and on the ground. That's pretty much it. From where Collect is, you can't really tell much more than it's definitely a dead body.
Het relays that information back to the group. Het was unaware he was going to go blind and deaf. He has not used this spell before, and it is quite new to him. He is taken aback, and as he relays this information, he reverts back to his normal sight and hearing.
Okay. And so you relay the information to your group. Bash sort of says, I'd say by smell he's probably been dead probably 3 days, maybe 4 days. Do you think we should go investigate? Did your little furry friend see anything sort of around the body at all, Mr. Hare?
No, there was nothing else there at this point. Collect is still there. Can I get Collect to investigate around the body for
Certainly can. Roll investigation for Collect. See if you can notice anything.
While this is going on, I'm going to touch my sword and activate my writ of dawn.
Okay, Rite of Dawn, no worries.
First low roll for hit tonight. 5.
Yeah, Collect skitters around the body a bit and sort of back and forwards. Again, he's a newly summoned being, newly summoned to this plane of existence. He's in unfamiliar territory for him as well. And he's not really seeing anything that you deem as helpful. There's animal tracks around. You think that wolves have probably had a go at the body at some stage. Definitely, but you're not entirely sure.
Hit is sorry, Hit can't make out as much as he'd liked. He can see well, but doesn't know exactly. Maybe this is more Ellie or Fiela's bag now. But appreciate it, and he flicks back Kelly to his shoulder.
Roger that. Collect reappears on Hit's shoulder in an instant, and at that point, the moment that happens, you hear a very loud and close howl, very deep. The howl then sort of turns into a guttural growl off to your immediate right, back in the trees, and it sounds big, whatever it is. Fiala, you'd probably know what it is just by hearing it, and it's definitely wolf-like, but it sounds a lot larger than a standard wolf. And the moment that howl and growl dissipates, you hear a chorus of howls with it, all from all directions, from the same direction of that body. It seems like it's coming from all around.
Lions, I think we need to gear up, because what I hear travels in packs.
Right, just give me 1 second here, guys. I will need to get a quick order from you. Bash is on the side of the road, probably closest to the body. The wagon, for this particular thing, the wagon you won't see on this particular map, because I don't have a wagon and I didn't actually draw one up. But so Het was by the wagon.
Yes, Het was holding on to the back of the wagon on the road side of the wagon closest
So,
to
yep.
the body.
So in relation to Het,
Yeah.
can everyone tell me roughly where they are? Dick, where would you be in relation to Het?
I'm on the driver's side near the. Yeah, I'll be on the driver's side, still securing the actual
Okay.
horses and.
And the rest of you sort of piled out of the back of the wagon. You standing next to Het, roughly.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
curious
just-
about the sound, so I'd like to be up front-ish.
I'm standing on the back of the wagon.
Alessandros, I'll put you in between Het and Sadiq on the map, so that pretty much roughly is where the wagon is. So with that, can we get everyone to roll initiative, please?
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the roof of the wagon like?
It's solid wood.
Solid
It's
wood?
curved.
Awesome.
Curved solid wood.
Awesome.
That is an 8 for Fiela.
Start this thing. Yeah. So 8 for Gala. Alessandros.
24.
Het.
In saying that, could you check my initiative? Because that don't look right.
If you've got alert, I think you have.
Possibly.
Your initiative was +7, yes. Because of your feet.
Oh yeah, that's right. That yeah, that I took that.
So
didn't
yeah,
I?
Het
18 for Het.
Inari
11.
and Sadiq.
17.
17, and Bash is going to roll his. Bash rolls terribly. So at the top of the round is Alessandros with a 24. So from your position, Alessandros, we are now going to switch over to Beetle map. No, we're not. We are. And I'm going to do Badoosh. So you can see the body lying, it's on the Discord as well, guys, for those who want to use the Discord. You guys see the body lying in just off this road, so let's say it's about 20 or so feet. About 20 or so feet off the road. The sound of the wolves you heard was coming from the direction of the body, but sort of it sounded like it was coming from all around that area. But you now start to hear low growls and you hear rustling of trees and bushes. You haven't seen anything yet, but there is definitely something there. So Alessandros, we'll give you. We'll run the initiative in order from here. We'll give everyone a chance to do something, prepare something ready for potentially what may happen. So Alessandros, you're first up.
Time of day.
You guys have only been out travelling for probably an hour or two, so it's before lunch. You're probably looking at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
How easy it to climb up on the roof?
That would be relatively simple for you. I mean, you're pretty dexterous, so you'd be fairly easy to get up on top of the roof of the wagon.
Yeah.
It's curved, so you sort of have to almost straddle it, so it's sort of foot either side.
Yeah. Use me movement to go up there.
Yep. Well, I'd say you'd be able to do that with half your movement.
What can I see?
From up there, roll a perception check with advantage from that elevated position.
$23.
From that position, you see to your If you're looking at from the map to the south where the body is, it would be from that position, probably southwest. You'll see you can see a body of water, which is over here on the map is a body of water. Just sort of see the edge of it. So on the opposite side of the water, over this side where my finger is now, in that direction you see sort of a cave entrance and a large sort of pile of rocks up around the top of this cave entrance. And on top of that pile of rocks, you see a large canine-like creature, a lot larger than any wolf you've seen before, a lot larger than any dire wolf you've even seen. It is very large. It is looking in your guys' direction, and it lets out another real baleful sort of howl and growl. And what you then see is several smaller wolves run from the entrance of this cave, heading in your direction.
All right, I'll let them know, our group know the direction that these animals are coming from and where, and what's the distance.
From there, you're looking probably about 80, 90 feet from the cave entrance, probably 100 or so feet from the wagon. They're going to close the distance pretty quickly. But you can definitely see them sort of in and around the trees. Like, there's a few trees in the way, and you'll lose sight of them as they move, but they're definitely coming in your direction.
Okay, attacking the large one with an arrow.
What's your minimum distance on your arrow? 150 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, using longbow.
Longbow. It is. So yeah, you would definitely roll to hit.
Hang on, just a sec. Hang on. .23 to hit.
That does hit. You draw and lock your arrow, and you draw a bead on the large wolf, and you fire.
Initiate shadow arrow as well.
Using your shadow arrow. Which does what again?
Does a...
I got it here.
2d psychic damage.
And must save on a wisdom save.
So the arrow damage first. 10 arrow damage.
10 piercing, and your psychic damage. 10 piercing. And 12 psychic. And it was a wisdom save. It failed its wisdom save, so it's now unable to see any further than 5 feet in front of it. You hear it cry out in sort of in agony and pain as the arrow strikes and finds its target. And it starts shaking its head. You can just sort of make it out from this distance, and you can see it shaking its head around. It's sort of turning around, and yeah, it's a little confused. With that, you've still got half your movement.
Staying where I am.
There we are. Hit, you are next.
It did BRB just be.
Yeah, no, that was a little while ago.
Don't think he's back.
We'll just wait for a moment. I think I know why my sounds are still sounding. Must have it on another scene. But thank you for the biddies, Bipolar Bear.
I think that's only happening on you.
We're not getting it on stream. Are you guys hear it? Did you guys hear the alert on stream? Just jumping out of game for a second.
No.
I did not hear the alert, but I just saw the chat, so.
You heard it, Jax? Yeah, I thought it was coming up. That's right. I can mute them on Streamlabs. Fine.
I keep on forgetting I got the stream muted. I'm running Discord.
Yeah, that's right. I'll mute it. I know what it is. I'll sort it out for next time. So we're just waiting on Het to come back. Sadiq, we'll run with your turn. We'll just swap you guys around for a second until Het comes back.
Yeah, that's okay. Just act like he's delayed his action. There you go.
Yeah, Het's sort of a little bit preoccupied with Collect right now. So, Sadiq, you take your turn in the initiative order, please.
All right.
So by this stage,
do I have knowledge of whatever these animals are?
You haven't seen them yet. You've definitely heard them. You know they're probably wolves of some description. But at this point, you don't actually see anything. You can hear the rushing of, like the breaking of branches, and something's definitely rushing you guys from the trees. But you don't have the same vantage point as Alessandro, so you don't actually see anything currently.
All right. Being that they're wolves, I'm gonna dispel the Rid of Dawn and change it to Rid of Fire.
Roger that.
And take the damage from that. And then I'm going to delay my action until one of them's close enough for me to actually attack.
Okay, so you're going to hold your action?
Yeah.
Say that Het's going to hold his action too, because he'd probably be much the same because he wouldn't be able to see what's going on. It is now the Wolf's turn. There. One breaks it. One to there. There. The big one still there. So now you can sort of see at about this stage, as the wolves sort of break the tree line, you can now sort of see, if we move this over slightly this way, it's not fighting in that direction. We can bring this up a little bit. So you guys now see two wolves break the tree line and head towards the road. Behind you, another wolf has reached the body of the fallen, possibly a townsperson or a hunter or something, but one has reached the body there. Another is just in the trees just beyond that. Alessandros, you see the larger of the wolves sort of jump down from his rocky outcrop and is still looking a little confused. He just cannot really see. It doesn't look like he can see anything at this point. Very confused. How long does that last?
Next turn. Yeah, so at the start of my next turn, it dissipates.
Cool. Out of your next. So with that is the Wolf's turn. Next up, Nari and Fialia, you're up after that. But Nari, you've just seen these two wolves break the tree line and head towards the road. You've seen another one. Your position is behind Fialia on the map there, which is, I haven't got my pointer, but that is you there at the back. Fiala's there. Bash is the big dude there in front, obviously hit with the cape. Ellie on top of the wagon, and Sadiq over there.
Do I have line of sight of the big wolf?
Now that it's dropped off the large rock, I would say probably not. There's a few trees now blocking your view.
Can I move into line of sight?
You wouldn't know where it's gone to move into line of sight.
Right, well then I am going to knock my bow.
Pick up.
Sharp. I'm gonna cast Hail of Thorns just at first level.
Bonus action, Hail of Thorns, no problem.
my sharpshooter, and I'm going to have a go at the closest wolf to me. It's the one in front of the dark green tree.
So that one there?
Yep.
Okay, so fire away.
I get a 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
That's my first one. Second one is
Using
15 to hit.
sharpshooter for that or not?
All of them.
So 15 to hit on the second?
Yep.
That does hit. And your third?
11.
That misses. So your third shot goes wide, but your first two arrows hit true. Roll your damage for your first two hits, and you get Hail of Thorns on the first. Six seconds, lady.
27 for the first hit.
This is all plus 10 because of sharpshooter, guys. So 27 points of damage, piercing damage to the first.
That's including.
That's including Hail of Thorns. Awesome. And your second lot of damage, please.
22.
22. No Hail of Thorns on that one, because your Hail of Thorns is only on your first
I've used
hit.
that already.
Yep. So 22, and your last arrow misses. So you hear as the arrows strike true, you hear the wolf sort of yelp as each arrow strikes, and it slowed it almost to a complete stop. It was running full charge, and it's almost stopped it dead in its track as it takes a serious amount of damage from your resident ranger. With that, we now Yayla, unless you wanted to move, Inari.
No, I'm good at this point.
Okay, so Fiela, you're up next. Het, you held your action until you had line of sight, so we can come back to Het.
Yeah, go back to Het, yeah.
So Het, you can now see, again, the same as everyone else, about probably 60 or 70 feet up the road, you have two wolves breaking the tree line. Another wolf is at the body, which is probably about 30 or 40 feet away from you, and another one in the trees to its immediate right.
Het will... Don't know if you saw the message I gave you, but Het will just cast Bless on every...
Alright, bless. Cool. I'll do that. And you're breaking up a little bit, brother.
Mental web problems.
So is bless on everybody? You are having interweb problems in a big way.
Yes. Bless on everyone, self included, but not Bash. I haven't got enough spell slots for him.
Sorry, Bash. Right, everyone is blessed except for Bash. And that was your bonus action.
That is an action for Bless.
Okay.
Then Het will move 5, 10, 15, 20 feet away from the position of the wolves, but still on the road.
Heading up the road towards the top of the map.
Yes, towards the top of the map.
Done. And that is your turn?
Correct.
Sadiq, you were also holding your action until you could see the wolves, or you've got the wolf at the body, which is probably looking roughly about 30 to 40 feet from your position, so you Are you wishing to release your said action, or are you still wanting to hold?
I'm gonna move over to near Bash because I think that's where they're gonna come in, and I'll stuff it. I'll throw my dagger at the one near the body from there.
So throw your dagger.
So that's 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
It takes 4 damage.
4 damage from the dagger tossed in its direction. You fire a dagger just in the general direction of the wolf, and it finds purchase just below the bony part of the shoulder, and then it disappears and reappears back in your hand. And the wolf kind of yelps and doesn't really worry it too much. Sort of shrugs off the damage and sort of bows its head in a aggressive posture and growls in your general direction.
Awesome.
Second attack.
15 to hit on the second one.
That hits also.
That would be 6 points of damage.
And 6 points. Again, much the same thing. Strikes it much in the same place, and it kind of shakes it off again, not really worrying too much about that kind of damage. Next up, we then back to Fiela.
I am gonna cast Speak with Animals, like the chat has suggested.
Okay. Speak with
And
animals.
I would like to say this
At
is
what
at your
level?
discretion. First level.
First level.
I would like to say we meant you no harm, but we will defend ourselves.
Do you
What
have Speak with
want?
Animals prepared?
Say- Yeah.
It doesn't. I can't see it in your spell
Speak
list.
with Animals, self, 1 action. Yeah, I have it. First level.
I need to oh, sorry, we've had a rest since I had that up, so I have to refresh.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. There we go. So, which animal are you directing your speech to?
The largest.
The largest? You sort of hear back, "This is our hunting ground. You are here to steal our food. You are food. Attack!" And you hear more howls from the other wolves.
So I guess there's no talking with them. So I'm gonna bonus action shape into dire wolf.
God damn it. Wood, I've used all my wolves on the table. You're gonna look like a dire bear, but you're a dire wolf, okay?
I'm a dire wolf.
You're a dire bear wolf. So, Fiela transforms into a dire wolf.
Just to confuse the other wolves that are around.
A wolfair.
The wolfier. I'm gonna have to get more wolves. But yeah, Fiela, you transform into a dire wolf as a bonus action, and you've used an action. You still have movement.
I'll go out front as much as I can. My movement is 45.
So 45. So in which direction?
I want to tank. So
Towards the body or towards the wolves on the road?
towards 1, 2, 3 squares ahead of me.
So down the road?
Yes.
About there.
That looks good.
Roger that. And with that, it is now the large wolf's turn. He is shaking his head. He's looking around. You can see in front of him, but he's not sure where anything is. He sniffs the air. He's going to make a check. Rolls a natural 20 on the check. He can smell where you guys are. He makes a beeline, and right, you can see him now burst through the trees, Fiala. What's your movement speed? He runs right at, and once he gets within 5 feet of you, he just growls loudly now that he can actually see you, and he attacks you. He attacks you with a bite attack, which is a 23 and a 20 on those attacks. You need to make a strength saving throw for me, please.
11.
You fail the strength saving throw. You take 22 points of piercing damage as this giant wolf bites down on your giant wolf shoulders, and he pushes forward with all of his strength and knocking you prone. You are now ground. Don't forget you got bless as well. So I don't think it'll make any difference, but you are now prone on the ground with a wolf has opened up a nasty little wound on your shoulder. With that, it is now Bash's turn. Sadiq, you know Bash. He brings himself up to his full height. He sees that Fiala's gone down. He sees the wolf by the body. He sees this big thing at Fiala's body, and he brings his double-handed axe up in one hand and just roars a really guttural roar and goes into a rage. So bonus action to rage. He then surges forward into melee combat with the large wolf, and he makes 2 attacks with his vicious battle axe. One is a 16, the other is a 13, I believe. Misses, so the first one hits, and the wolf will take from Bash's large axe, will take 8 points of slashing damage plus another plus rage damage, which is 2, so 10 points of damage. The large wolf now has taken damage from this large axe buried into the top of its shoulder, and you hear it whelp in pain as Bash raging strikes down. With that, we're back to the top of the initiative order with Alessandros. Hit, you're on board after that.
So I still got line of sight with the beast.
You certainly do. From your elevated position, you can now see that Fiala is prone in front of this large beast. Bash is within melee range of it, attacking it also. You can probably even see the smaller wolf behind it, and the other behind Bash on the road. You've probably got line of sight on all of them except for the one that's in the trees.
Right, attacking with the big one again with the bow and arrow.
No problem. Are you using shadow arrow again, or?
I don't know. I can choose it if I hit or not.
Okay, cool.
$17 to hit.
That hits.
And shadow arrow it is.
Let's strike again. Wisdom save on the wolf's part.
That's
which
5
he saves.
Yep. 5 for the arrow, and 7 for the psychic damage.
So it no longer is blinded, no longer can now see normally, but takes the damage, psychic and the piercing. It doesn't.
Sorry.
Does he take the damage if he saves?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still. It's just the darkness that he doesn't have to worry about.
I get confused with the seeking arrow.
Yeah. So creature hit by the arrow takes 2d6 psychic damage and must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be unable to see anything farther than 5 feet until the end of your next turn. So yeah, so still takes that damage. Doesn't seem to worry about the piercing damage, but that psychic damage has really hurt this creature. He's still shaking his head. Like the pain is really starting to show. He's starting to grimace and sort of froth at the mouth. If you wanting to move, we're going to stay where you are.
I am.
Hit, you're up. Sadiq, you're up after that.
Hit moves forward towards the green tree on the lower curve of the road. Behind, I'm not sure who that person is. I think it's Sadiq. Behind Sadiq there, just behind him there.
Yep, I got you.
Then hit traces a sigil quickly in the air, and he says, "Euthanasia." Old Vic's blast at the largest wolf that had downed Fiala.
Okay.
Get an 11.
Is there a save for that? Or is that a roll to hit?
It's a roll to hit, so those are rolls to hit. So natural 20 to hit, so that's 28, and an 11 on the second hit.
The 11 misses. The natural 20 does hit. And this is your version of Eldritch Blast, isn't it? So
yes.
And it's cold damage?
No, it's the same as
So force damage,
force
okay.
Damage.
So roll, so natural 20, so max your dice, hit dice, and then roll your damage, and add your modifiers. So natural 20 in the chat, guys. First natural 20 of the game tonight. That was the second tonight. I missed the first one.
My save was the first one.
Ah, yes.
That's 18 force damage.
18 force damage and a single blow as hit. You force the creature back on his feet. You can hear the claws digging into the ground, and he sort of forces him back a bit, the force of the damage, and he sort of surges forward again, but he is not looking healthy. He's got blood dripping from open wounds, and he's just looking pretty sluggish now. Anything else you would like to do, Hit?
No, Hit is happy there.
Roger that. Sadiq, you're up.
How far is that one roughly to where Fiala is?
From you, probably 25 feet.
Alright, I'm gonna run up and take 2 swings at it then.
The fat, hairy butt of the Fiala bear wolf. And strike away.
Alright.
Just resolve your first strike, because he doesn't have a lot of hit points left.
So first strike is 16.
That hits. Roll your damage.
That's 13 damage.
That is enough. 13 points of damage as you strike down at this large wolf and remove his head in one swing of Heavenly Executioner. You're getting really used to using this weapon now. It's like a part of your body and it's an extension of yourself. And you decapitate the creature. It makes a gurgling noise. The head drops to one side. Its tongue lolls out of its open mouth, and the body twitches and falls to the opposite direction.
Anything close enough to attack?
So, you've still got 10 feet of movement, so you could get into the combat with that other wolf that's right there.
I'll do that then.
That's the finish of your movement. And you have another
And-
attack.
Yeah, 16 to attack.
That would be that one. Yes, 16 that does hit.
12 points of damage.
And 12 points of damage as you strike out again with Heavenly Executioner. This creature's a little bit quicker. He manages to dodge, but he takes some damage as you strike down. That is your turn. It is now the Wolf's turn. So that this one turns into you and faces to attack you. The other one on the road rushes forward. Bash there. That one rushes into behind you as well, so you now have 3 wolves in and around you. One surges forward to Mr. Het over there. So, first one is going to attack you, Sadiq. It'll get advantage on the attack because of pack tactics. It makes just one attack. Actually, all 3 of them are going to, instead of making a bite attack, you see them sort of inhale, take a deep breath in, and their eyes start to grow a silvery grey, and then they all exhale all at the same time. So I need you to make, and Bash, I need you to make 3 dexterity saving throws. Bash succeeds on, so he gets advantage on all of his.
Alright, so 12, 21, and 25.
You save on all 3 of yours also. You now, all 3 wolves blast you with a cold breath weapon, which was a little bit unexpected. So you will take, and both of you will take 9 points of cold damage with those saves. The Bash sort of goes, ugh! Bloody wolves! Taking 9 points of cold damage. And with that hit, the one with you is just going to roll into a bite attack. Actually, no, he's not. He's going to do the same. They've all done it, so he's going to do the cold breath. So dexterity saving through from you as well, dude.
That is 22 to save.
So you'll take half of that's a 9 points of cold damage halved with your resistance. The half of half. Rounded down. And with that, it is now Anari's turn. Fiala, you're up after that.
Head would like to Arctic Rebuke before that.
Okay, yes, definitely. Well, actually, in Fiala, you have to make that dex save too. Sorry, you would have been within range. One of those breath weapons. Actually, you automatically fail. So 18 points of cold damage, Fiala. Sorry.
Alrighty.
And Arctic Rebuke.
So the creature gets a dex save. Otherwise,
Yes.
it takes 10 cold damage.
Your Arctic Rebuke fires back with the damage you've taken from their cold damage, and the wolf sort of bows his head as the damage comes back, and then looks up and just shakes his head, and as if wasn't worried in the slightest, taking 0 damage.
What a dirtbag. I will have to make concentration check for place 2.
You will, sir. DC 10, man.
I lose concentration with a 7.
Right, so everyone loses bless.
Bugger.
No longer have your D4. So that was the Wolf's turn. So yeah, Fiala, Anari, your turn, and Fiala, you're up after that.
Right, I'm going to fire using sharpshooter. Oh, actually, first of all, I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns first level.
Bonus action, Hail of Thorns again.
At level.
Yep, and sharpshooter at which wolf?
The one that's attacking Sadiq from behind.
Okay.
Wow, net one.
A natural 1 on your first attack.
Fail.
So you
So
knock
she
your
hits
arrow.
me.
You knock your arrow. Actually, roll a d6. 1 to 3 you hit Sadiq. 4 to 6 you miss him.
3. Sorry, Sadiq.
Sadiq, you will take roll your damage on your arrow. Did you roll it at sharpshooter?
Yes.
So add the plus 10.
Do I have to do Hail of Thorns as well on him?
Yes.
Don't I get a save for that one?
Dexterity. Yep.
33, including Hail of Thorns. I'm sorry.
How much is the Hail of Thorns damage?
That was 6 altogether.
There's a Hail of Thorns. He does get a save on, I believe. Dex save. Yeah. So what was your dex save?
24 is my dex save.
So you save on the Hail of Thorns. You only take half the damage of the Hail of Thorns. So what was the Hail of Thorns damage?
6. So
it'd be 3. So it'd be 30 points of damage instead of 33.
Youch.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
The wolf has to make a dex save and fails, so he'll take the 6 points of Hail of Thorns. And
My second
That's it.
arrow hits with the dirty 20.
30-20, that definitely hits.
And he takes 28 damage.
You got to let me know with your sharpshooter on every attack,
That was
please.
With, oh, yeah, sorry, that was with sharpshooter.
I gathered, but just remember every attack. Just let me know that you are using it.
Okay.
So yeah, the second arrow does find its mark. So Sadiq, you take an arrow to the back of the shoulder,
Arrow to the knee.
and it hurts. It hurt that much. It actually pierced through the back of your armor and protrudes now out of the front of your shoulder, just below your shoulder, just below your collarbone. You now have an arrowhead sticking through your left shoulder. So your next attack will be at disadvantage, sir. Are you going to move, Inari?
No.
Fiela, it is now your turn.
Like to roll to get up.
Half your movement to get up.
That would be a 17.
You don't need to roll to get up, it's just half your movement.
Oh, there you go.
So what are you doing? Who are you attacking? Who are you killing?
So is this a bonus action now?
No. It's half your movement to get up, and then it's just your turn as normal.
I would like to move to the nearest wolf.
So done.
And bite for a nat 20.
Natural 20 on the bite, so roll your damage. You get pack tactics as well, so you get advantage on these attacks. Remember, while you're in within melee range of an ally. Just remember that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that nat 20.
Yep. Just remember for your future attacks as a wolf. Nat 20.
That would be a 13 piercing, and it says a strength save.
13 piercing and then a strength save to see if it's going to stay standing. Rolls a natural 7, but it's plus 4 strength, so that'll be an 11. I still believe that fails.
That fails.
That wolf is now prone. We got a prone wolf there, so all melee attacks against that wolf are now at advantage as well. So you just get the one attack.
Can I use a bonus action to kind of growl to kind of say, hit me?
Roll intimidation.
17.
I will roll a save for these guys. Wisdom save. One fails, one succeeds. One on the ground automatically, we'll say automatically fails. So you, the wolf on the ground looks like it is definitely intimidated by it. It's kind of whimpering now that you've knocked it prone. One of the other wolves looks at you and growls and definitely with intent. The other is solely focused on Sadiq still.
All right, that's me.
That's you. Bash's turn. Bash sort of again looking around, he's still raging, and he decides, sort of looking around at what he can do here, and what can we do here? He's gonna roll a d8 here, because as he raged, I forgot to do this before, rolling a d8. As he rages, guys, you notice arcane energy taps into the minds of those around you. Each creature within 30 feet of you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or you see okay. So can I get everyone within 30 feet of Bash to roll a wisdom save, please?
Where's Bash?
He's over here with Sadiq, so it'll be Sadiq, Fiela, and Nari.
Okay, I've got to find my dice.
Mine's 18.
18, so okay, you are okay. That's good.
Wisdom save? 9.
9. That's cool.
16.
You're okay, so that's cool. So that's actually pretty good. So basically what happened is Bash has now seen the glimpse of the creature's thoughts, learning how it plans to attack you. So you probably didn't need to take the save. Actually reading that properly. It's just the creatures. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the start of your next turn. So
It would have been a 15 because I.
yeah, so don't worry about it. It was the creatures, not friendlies, but that's fine. So Bash is going to make his 2 attacks at the one directly in front of him. Oh, has it? That will be. Is he going to use reckless or not? No, he's going to use a superiority die to add to the attack rolls on that one there because it was a miss. A d8. That does now hits. So 1 superiority die spent. Rolling damage. 1d8 plus 2 plus 2, it's 11 and 19 damage total. 19 damage to the wolf directly in front of him as he strikes down with a vicious axe and almost completely severs one leg from this creature, and it's now limping pretty badly with a massively, hugely open wound. Is not looking good at all. We are now back to the top of the round. Alessandros.
Do I have line of sight?
You do have line of sight on the one on the ground, and that's probably about it. You will have disadvantage because it is prone. You got a giant furry butt in the way of the other two.
Yeah. So disadvantage, what's that mean?
Means you roll 2d20s and take the lowest for your attack. Baz, you're good for another 20 minutes or so?
Unfortunately, I have work at 5 a.m, so probably not.
We're just about done. If you need to take off, Ben, take off. We should be good. We will resolve this very shortly.
14 to hit.
14 to hit.
Stay as long as
That does hit.
And just normal damage. which is 6.
Your arrow strikes true and strikes the creature lying on his back. Movement?
Yeah, no point going anywhere. I may as well stay where I am.
With that, it is it's your turn. And Sadiq, you're up after that. We should resolve it in this round, dude, so we should be good.
Is Ellie up on the cart stool?
She is.
It traces a sigil in the air, and he says, "High-speed dirt," and he misty steps up beside Ellie on the cart.
And the wolf sort of looks around and goes, huh? And as you disappear,
And that is Hit's bonus action. As his action, just a couple of Vic bolts at that same wolf that was attacking him.
no problem. Roll to hit.
"24 and 13.
They both hit.
That wolf takes 7 force damage.
7 force damage. You strike true with both blasts of Vic Bolt slamming into the side of this creature. It is not looking healthy at all. Almost knocks it completely off its feet. She's looking pretty rough. That is you hit.
That is hit.
Sadiq, you're up.
So there's a wolf down beside me, which I'll get advantage.
You do.
against.
Advantage on the attack.
Alright, cool. I'm going to attack that one.
Cool, cool.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That'd be a natural 20. So 26 to hit.
I think that hits, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Nat 20, guys.
Thank Christ I don't have to do disadvantage with that one. Okay, so 46, which is 12, plus I gotta add 14, so 26 damage.
So that's 26 damage with your first attack. It's not looking healthy. You take a massive blow to this prone wolf, and you hear a couple of ribs break with the force of the blow. It is not looking healthy at all. Second attack.
Okay, second attack. Second attack is... Oh, crap, what is that? That would be 16 to hit.
That hits. Roll your damage.
19 damage, and I get another attack.
19 damage, and it is reduced to a dead mess on the ground as you sever through the ribcage, releasing its entrails onto the ground as a steaming, gurgling mess as you send this wolf into the afterlife.
Awesome.
And you have a bonus action attack.
Yes, because of greater weapon fighter.
Great weapon master, yep.
And so I'll attack the one that's to my left.
Roger that.
That would be a 16 to hit.
That does hit.
And 16 damage.
16 damage. Right, you strike down at that, and with that, these two wolves, seeing that pretty much their alpha is dead, now their beta is dead, they turn and run. You both, Sadiq and Bash, you'll get an attack of opportunity. So Sadiq first, I'll get you to roll yours.
Another natural 20.
Oh shit. Natural 20 damage, max dice plus roll dice. I think you might kill this one as well.
So 14, that's 28.
Oh yeah, that one is dead as well. Another natural 20 on an opportunity attack as the wolf tries to turn and flee. takes 2 steps and gets struck across the spine, shivering the spinal cord, and it drops in a heap on the ground. The other bash lashes out. Would you believe it? Also a natural 20.
Holy wow.
Striking down with the vicious axe, and on the vicious axe, if he gets a 20, I believe, he gets some extra damage. Yes, he gets an extra 7 damage on top of that. So roll a d8. Where's my d8? D8. So that is 12, 14, 18 plus 7 is 25, which is exactly what he needed to kill it. 25 points of slashing damage as he strikes down on the hindquarters of this wolf as it tries to flee, severing it in half with a single blow.
Now,
Thus ending our...
Yeah.
Oh no, we've got one left. Sorry.
No, we've got one more wolf. Just a quick question.
Yes.
With the Great Weapon Master, if I killed on an attack of opportunity, would I still get it? Would that feat still trigger as well?
What do you mean?
Well, because it says if you get a critical hit or reduce the creature to 0, you get the...
I get to make another bonus action. Well, yeah. Well, no, the opportunity attack is a... No, it says when, on your turn, you score a critical hit with a... Yeah, because it wasn't on your turn. So it has to be on your turn within the combat round. So it was being an opportunity attack, it's a reaction. So it wasn't actually on your attack action. So it has to be on your turn. But,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I'm sitting there going...
Yeah, well, Bash gets a second attack. After, actually, no, it doesn't because it's not his turn. Again, they were fleeing. It was their turn. After them is Inari. So you got one left, Inari, who is also going to try and turn and...
Is that the one that is over by the tree on its own?
Now down by the body, is running south.
Right.
It's not running very fast though.
Fiale is behind us.
Yeah, it's not running really fast at all. 2 attacks. Yep, sharpshooter or not?
Sharpshooter.
Yep, plus 10, -5 to hit, but plus 10 damage.
First one is 17 to hit.
That hits.
Second one is 21 to hit.
That hits. If you do more than 13 points of damage on both attacks, it'll die.
Okay, so that's like 34 damage.
Yeah. You quick succession fire 2 arrows, quick fire, boom, boom. Both finding their mark, skittling this wolf as it's running, and it sort of barrel rolls through the dirt and skids to a halt, no longer breathing, and that will end our initiative order. Right there, guys, and we're now out of initiative. I know Het has to go, so we're going to call it there, guys. Het has to get up and go to work.
Sorry, team.
Don't be sorry.
I'll quickly
Don't have to be sorry that you're essential.
We'll quickly sort some XP here. When I remember how to do it. Right. So, believe it or not, that was an easy encounter for you guys. So it's not going to be a huge amount of XP, but we're going to roll some role play XP in there anyway. So we're going to give you 1200 XP each for that whole thing. So, and we'll call it there. We'll pick up at the start of the tomorrow.
So we've got what, 5 wolves? 5 wolves?
It was essentially 5 wolves. You had 4 smaller wolves and a larger one.
All right, I'm gonna skin them and take the pelts.
Roll a survival check. Are you proficient with? Are you proficient in survival or nature?
Yes, survival. I'm proficient.
Add your proficiency modifier with your check.
Sweet. Sorry, team. I've got to head out. I'll see you later.
No worries, Baz.
See you,
Everyone,
dude.
buddy.
That would be a 19 with survival check.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't take you much at all. Like you're pretty adept at the whole thing, and you takes you with all 5 of them, and especially the larger one. It takes you probably a good couple of hours to skin them and fold them up, and I dare say you're putting them in your sack of crap.
I was actually gonna hang them from the cart themselves so that they can dry, because
Even better.
I'm thinking they would be good as like throw rugs inside. As
Not
an
a bad
extra,
idea. So you hang them, tie them and hang them from the sides of the cart?
Yeah, just to let them dry.
No problem, we'll do that. No, so you, so just put in your notes you've got 4 winter wolf pelts. So they're very white, not dark wool, so it's a very sort of white greyish pelt. And with that roll, the pelts are pretty good. You didn't sort of make any holes or anything in it. And you have another pelt of what is called a guardian wolf, which is half as big again as the winter wolves. So it's a decent sized pelt, a darker grey in colour.
So did we go check out the den?
Or you can if you want.
Probably a good idea.
We can pick that up in the next show though.
Yep,
do that with Baz on board. So we'll pick that up. Just make a note on your notes, Trash, that you want to check out the den. Just remind me for the next show. But we're going to call it there, guys. Another great show from everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. We are going to raid. Going to find someone to raid because that's what we do. Let's see if we got any other D&Ders on. Wonder if our friends Lost Chapters
They are
online.
Yeah, he was in channel earlier.
Yeah, saw him pop in. So
Yeah, they've started their stream.
cool. So we will probably, since they come in and see us, we'll probably raid them as we usually do. They're a cool bunch of guys. I actually enjoy watching their campaign. They're playing Curse of Strahd. So we're definitely going to raid them. Next week, not next week, but the week after, we'll be starting our Curse of Strahd campaign on Thursday mornings. If you're able to, come and hang out with us for that as well. If not, keep an eye on the YouTube. VODs will go up. I knew there was something I didn't do. I didn't start the bot. No one noticed. But that's okay. So if someone would like to put YouTube command up now that I've started the bot. So yeah, go check out the YouTube. All the VODs for the current campaign go up on the YouTube. Upload every Tuesday. So make sure you hit the bell to get notification when the YouTube videos go up. Once the new campaign starts, I'll also be uploading on Saturday for the Curse of Strahd campaign. So definitely do that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We still need 3 subs to get our custom URL. We will get there eventually. Thank you so much to the subs and the followers and everyone that hangs out with us as well. Bipolar Bear, thank you for the biddies tonight. Appreciate that very much. La Chesty Roo for the host earlier. That was awesome having another person that I've not seen in our chat before drop a host on us and share their community with us. It's awesome. As of tomorrow, guys, we'll be getting back to some regular gaming streams now that I've got the 2 PCs set up running. I think I've solved my audio issues. I haven't been around the last couple of days because I've been quite sick. Trying to sort out these audio issues has freaking made me really quite ill. Been stressing over it, and it's made me physically ill, which really sucks because I hate being sick. Grifftrix, you've come in from Chesties. Awesome. We're happy to have you here. I'm glad you stuck it out and stuck out with the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I say we do this every Sunday night, New Zealand time, so 7:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time is our start time. This is a persistent homebrew campaign with homebrew spells. You're in LA, staying up real late, yeah. So like I said, the 29th for you on a Wednesday night is when we do the Curse of Strahd campaign. I'm specifically doing that for the US market with some other streamers of friends of mine. So I don't know if you may not have heard them if you've been here on Twitch, but Twin Gats Gaming is from here on Twitch. Death Veil on Mixer, and Mr. Malice, who also streams here on Twitch. And our friend Savage, who hangs out in our chat. I'm doing it for them. It's a official campaign, so there'll be no homebrew stuff in it. So it's a Curse of Strahd campaign. But it'll be Death and Twin Gats are both new at the D&D, so completely new. Inspirational RP. I love these guys for RP, dude, honestly. You wouldn't think so, but Yanti is relatively new to D&D as well, and the whole RP thing. I think she's doing exceptionally well. I
was blushing the whole time.
So I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a lot of years, so I'm used to it. I'm used to the role-playing stuff. Me and my brother, which is Het, we've been playing tabletop games and RP games for years. Yeah, well, I mean, but Baz, or Het and myself have been RPing for years. Nutty's relatively new to the D&D as well. She's only been playing with me for the last year or so with another campaign, so she's relatively new to the D&D world. I don't know if she's new to any kind of role play in that respect, but I'm pretty sure she's relatively new. Peck has done it before. Tracy's done it before, probably not to this sort of level, but definitely they're all semi-experienced, I would.
No, if you're RPing an MMO, it's just not much difference when you think about it.
Exactly.
It's just that you're rolling dice instead.
Exactly that. So we'll try to figure out the pace and what sort of game we want. Getting into a new campaign. The thing is that as long as you've got a good DM, a DM that's got an imagination, and a DM that's willing to sort of allow the weird to happen sometimes. I'm a new DM. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Brand, this is my first time running my own campaign. I've done a few one-shots here and there, but I'm a long-time player. I've been playing for years. Het, or my brother Baz, who played Het, he's been our DM for years. Like, he's always DM'd. So, for me to DM is really cool. So, you'll be back for sure. You'll get a book. Got to get the books. It's awesome. But thank you for hanging out with us, and obviously you enjoyed it. So it's a good show for us as well as you. Yeah. If you do come back with us, we'd definitely welcome you back for sure. I said I know it's late for you where you are, but let's say keep an eye out for the Curse of Strahd campaign as well. It should be a lot of fun. But without further ado, we're going to go raid the Lost Chapter. I need to type in the raid thing. Raid at Lost Chapters.
Bye, Cobalt. Bye, Gun.
Okay, Cobalt.
Bye, everybody.
Good to see you, buddy, and we'll see you again next time. But we're gonna say goodnight. Thank you very much, and we will see you all again next week. Like I said, keep an eye out this week. There's no actual scheduled gaming, but there's going to be a lot more gaming. Tuesday or Wednesday night, I'm going to do some Doom Eternal. Now that I've got all this set up.
Time. Nice.
So Tuesday night at this stage, 7:30 again, 7:30, 8 o'clock New Zealand. I will announce it in the Discord and on Twitter. So keep up, just keep up with those. But until then, catch you later, guys. Thank you so much.